Welcome, everybody. How you doing? It is Wednesday. It is the 2023 version of March the 22nd. You're back here with me, Sean Butler. Bugsy's off in bed, but you've got some other people to keep us company this evening for an impromptu show. You know, it's very, very rare that we ever plan anything on this channel. How you doing? Were you wondering whether we got any news to drop? Well, we haven't really, just got a little bit of conversation, the same old conversation, but we're going to make it fun because we got some people in here that apparently one of them, who's not turned up yet, asked me to do this show so that he could banter me and put me in my place about something I said that apparently I said that I didn't actually say. So I'm going to reverse it on him like you know that I will. Ladies and gentlemen, the Spurs Talk Show. Buckle in. It starts right now. Lovely touch from him, though. Harry Kane, Lucas Moura, can you do something, please? Last chance, Matt Doherty! Oh, you shit! There could be from the dead to the don't fuck it up now, Go win it! Let's go for a chance! Stephen Bergwijn! Stephen Bergwijn's through! Win it, Stephen! Come on! Yes! He's won it! Yo, check this out. How you guys doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. Hope you're all happy and healthy doing the things you love for the people that you love doing them with. Guys, smash a like on your way in. Don't even forget. Don't make me have to ask a second time. I will be asking throughout. You know how it works. Hope you're all happy and healthy doing the things you love. Want to shout out the 80-odd people that are already, I think, across all the socials that are watching here. And I want to give a special shout out to the people that I don't often get a chance to say thank you to. So I don't do that many streams, but I'll be doing more of them. And those are to my Spurs Talk Show puppies. And, of course, my Spurs Talk Show ponies. Big up to all of you and to everyone in the comments. We're going to get through and say hello to them in a second. Before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring in one by one the men that are going to join us this evening for the next however long we go for. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, you know him from these here parts. He's also from the Emerald Isle. He's got a little movie out. Not a little movie, a very big movie. He's doing very, very well for himself in the arts and theatre space, the movie space. He hangs out with celebrities all the time. Please give it up for Mr. Adam William Cahill. How you doing, Ads? Oh, it's a slurp.
It's a slurp. Just do a little bit of this shameful plugging just off the back of your plugging from me, my friend. So Follow the Dead is the film to check out. It's on amazon.co.uk if you want to check it out, folks. Thanks so much for having me on, Sean. I appreciate having me here. And I'm just off the back of having a pretty, relatively mildly intense debate yesterday with the Irish Hotspur. So hopefully we can ramp it up a little bit more this time around. But it's good to see you again, my friend.
Nice, mate. Nice. I didn't actually get a chance to see the show yesterday because I had to pull out of it myself because I had loads of random stuff happening. So we can go through some of that stuff again. Let me move all over to the next man who's coming in. You know him as the man with 1,000 names. It's far too early for him to be sleeping at his desk. He's always wearing some Tottenham training gear. He must have every different training gear from every different year going. Please, ladies and gentlemen, wake noise for Mr. Barry Rangitorino. Wakey!
Oh, hello, everybody. How are we doing? Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just waiting, like everyone else is, for the news that is never coming.
Yeah. It's not imminent, is it? It's imminently imminent, but it's not quite out the stage of imminent yet.
It's coming soon now. It's gone from 48 hours to coming soon. It's Adam, I'm sure with your movie knowledge, you could put a better trailer up for this shit show that is Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. So,
do you think if we were at like a sorry, Adam, if we were at a like at an airport trying to go on holiday, is the plane? Are we at the checking in stage when it comes to the Conte switch up, or are we at the boarding stage? Are we at the go to gate stage? Are we at the last call stage? What are we on? What are we at? Still just check in, yeah. It's not
taxi to the airport, I think.
No, we're miles away. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk about what's going on there in a minute. Let me bring in the last man. This man here, ladies and gentlemen. He's the reason why this show even came up, because he spent all day today. He spent all day today telling me that first and foremost, my latest video, Sava went out of his way to leave a message on our WhatsApp group saying, Sean, guys, I just want to say, really good video earlier, really good, well structured, and really enjoyed it, good balance. Alex comes out and just goes, sorry, but I think that he's not saying anything new. It's just typical Sean waffle, isn't it? which was nice. And then it started a chain of events where Alex decides to say that he needs to come for me about Eric Dyer comments. So we're going to see. He is tonight's Captain Javiana. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show. It's Mr. Box Office. How you doing?
Firstly, it's the main event to you, Mr. Main Event to you. Yeah. Secondly, the Professor of Truth and Entertainment, Sean. Yeah, and that's it, Mr. Box Office, renamed, rebranded, Mr. Box Office TV.
Mr. Box of
HSC, if you really want to know, and that's it. If you don't know, get to know. You know what I mean? Sorry, I don't even know why Nick is in there, because he just wants to go on the tails of Mr. Box Office. You know what I mean? So he's just a side show at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like
sideshow Barry.
Sideshow Barry. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm here to banter Sean, because honestly, yeah, he's doing well for himself. Yeah, he is. But at the same time, when you're telling me the same thing I've already said already. Yeah, I mean, I've said it already. I'm not saying it. I'm not going to talk about it on my channel, because I said I'm going to refresh, reset, and we start a new side of me. So I ain't going to talk about it anymore, because it's not like we need to say any more on this anyway about Conte. But
that's the whole point of the show.
And let's talk some real stuff about this whole situation. This whole situation about
Tottenham at the moment. Mr. Flip Flop is going to banter you.
All right. Well,
no, Barry. Mr. Main Event to your eyes, bruv. That's all I need to say, and that's it. But back to you, Sean, to say something
Box of Javianas. We got more flip flops than Copacabana Beach this evening in this room tonight. It's gonna be fun. Listen, we're gonna get going. Before we do, let me just quickly swing through and say hi to everyone in the comments. You got Tequila316. What's happening, my man? How you doing, buddy? Mick Hermlock's in the show as well. Good to see you from the get-go, buddy. Anthony White is also here. Has he gone yet? Obviously not, mate. Obviously not yet. We're going to talk about why that is, though. Mia's in the house. What's happening, Mia? Good to see you, my love. Michael McCarthy's here as well, as is Mojo Matzi. Wakey. Hit them likes. Who else we got? Simon Waters is in the house. Good to see you. The Perch. What's cracking, Perchy? Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. And we got Shushjia. I'm not sure if that's just it might be a name.
SHSG. Just do that way, Sean.
If it is a name, then it's an uncommon one, because you've got 4 consonants on the bounce there, and that's unusual in the English language. Wolves is in the house. What's happening, Wolves? Good to see you. As is Rachel Vidar. Good to see you. She says we should get Stel as our new boss. He does tactic shows and also trains under 8 kids. Stel as the new boss. Okay. Yeah. I mean, wrong crowd for me.
All those people. I'll let. She comes in with another one, Mr. Sock Office. Put a sock in your mouth. Obviously, Rachel is the. I mean, I agree with you, but let's not go into other people's chats with horrible things saying about other people when we
Oh,
all know what you're doing about.
Bo. If she wants to have a go at Mr. Box Office, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. I'm still here though. That's all I need to say. Back to you, Sean. Sorry to interrupt you. That's it.
No, that's all right. 5 minutes in already carnage. Alan Sibley's in the house. What's cracking out, mate? Good to see you. Who else we got? Who else haven't said hello to? Mr. Ben. How you doing, Ben? I don't know why you're no longer a Mr. Moderator. You always were. I don't know what's happened there. I need to go and fix that. Let me see if Foggy Phone's in the house. What's happening, Fogster? Good to see you. Good to see you. John Fitzpatrick's. How mate? How you doing? Moon Doggy Dog's in the house. What's happening, buddy? Tom Thacker's here. The box office has arrived. Anthony Lynch is here as well. And as is Eamon Burns. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Mr. Sock Office is there. Lazy 8. Nick's there. Lazy 8. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. Good to see you. Mark Cousins is here, as is Jay Rayson. Dan Davenport. What's happening, guys? Eddie Ryan. Haraga is pussy. Always fun to see new names. Trinidad and Deep is here as well. And that is everybody. That's everybody. 100 people in the house, guys. Smash a like for me. Hit the subscribe if you'd like to participate in the conversation. You haven't got to wait. You just got to hit the subscribe button. Then you can comment. And if you then don't want to subscribe afterwards, just unsubscribe later. But it's a little way of me creeping those numbers up. You know how it works. All right, Adam, I'm going to start with you, mate, because I haven't heard your take on this. First and foremost, let's start with, before we get into how we're going to resolve the situation, I want to know your take on who's to blame for the situation. Are you know, we know on this channel we talk about pizza pies of blame. Everyone gets a slice. Some slices larger than others. Was he right to say what he said? Were the players out of order? Was he a shit show signing in the first place? Was it always oil and water and not going to mix? And
so the problem,
yeah, go for it.
The problem ultimately is that there's blame to go all over the place, and I know it's not the argument that everyone wants to hear, because everyone wants to point the finger at something in particular. Everyone wants black or white, and unfortunately, it's not like that. You've got players who are not good enough for the squad, for the team. They're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to win anything with them in the team, and we've had them for far too long. We've gotten rid of some of them. Yes, there's an awful lot of them out on loan that we didn't want around, but we've still got Dyer in the back line. We know our defense is rubbish, so therefore, there's a degree to which there's a few players that are they're just not fit for purpose that are causing the issues. But also you've got to look at it from the top down as well. Levy brought in a manager who he thought was going to let's go right back to Poch. Poch was doing an exceptional job. The only reason that he was falling away towards the end was because he wasn't given the money he wasn't backed whatsoever. And 3 transfer windows with absolutely no incomings whatsoever. So he wasn't backed. And then the team starts to fall off, even though we get into a Champions League final. And then Mourinho becomes available. Daniel Levy's head is turned by this trophy-winning, prestige manager. And so he decides, right, we're going to get rid of Poch. We're going to bring in this guy who I have a hard on for. And then, so we have him in for a while. And the unfortunate thing with Mourinho, aside from the fact that with any manager that was going to come in with a team that we had, you would have needed patience over a significant amount of time, several transfer windows, to bring in the players to work for the philosophy of that particular manager. Mourinho he didn't have a Tottenham Hotspur philosophy anyway. It was really awful football to watch, really defensively minded. That's not what we want to see. That's not where our strengths lie. Our strengths lie in our attacking line. So we should have been playing to our strengths. So we brought in the wrong manager. We should never have sacked Poch in the first place. That is a Levy issue, in spite of the fact that I don't often lay the blame at Levy's feet, but that is a Levy mistake. Then you see him. He gets dropped right before a final, which makes absolutely no sense. He gets dropped. We bring in Nuno Espirito Santo, who's going to also play some really, really dross football. Let me stop
you there, mate. Before you get to Nuno, 2 questions I have. First of all, about the Poch era, and secondly about the hiring of Jose, or the firing of Jose, right? And I'll start with. Let me just finish. Take the conversation cyclical. Nick, do you think there's any truth? We all loved Poch, right? And we all know that he wanted, and he called the board out a little bit, saying they needed the rebuild. But do you remember on the press conference of the eve of the Champions League final, Poch getting a little bit spicy with his kind of like a little bit of an ego as well when he was asked like, "What's next for you if you win the Champions League?" And because I seem to remember him then, and I might have a foggy memory on it, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to remember Poch making a little bit of a rod for his own back. Not only did he sort of call out the club saying we need to rebuild whatever, and the furniture and the new house, nice house but no furniture thing, but he was also sort of talking a little bit like he had one foot out the door, almost similar to what happened with Harry Redknapp when Harry Redknapp was kind of like soliciting the England job, and it didn't happen. You still there, Nick? Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Your face was completely paused. I was like, is my internet gone? So, like, do you think that Poch was any part of like, and this was obviously before the next season started, so this was at like peak when we were going for it. Did you get that vibe at all that he was getting a little bit cocky, a little bit like, if I win, I don't know, I might go back to Argentina. What else can I? I remember him having that a little bit of like a vibe of like, I don't know what else I could really do at Tottenham if I win.
Yeah, there was almost those, obviously Real Madrid coming sniffing. There was almost those types of vibes. But look, I think maybe he knew, obviously he could see what was coming, and he was kind of saying, look, I'm here, but we hadn't signed a player in 18 months. We can't keep going on. Obviously we weren't playing that well, towards the end of that season. We got, obviously we got some, we talk about VAR. We got some favourable VAR decisions. Obviously, I think if you could argue today that obviously that Fernando Llorente goal would have been given handball, and that would have been it, and we would have never seen Madrid in the final and everything else. But yeah, I think it was a statement, and I think eventually it kind of, like with every manager, they walk in that door, they're promised the earth, and they're not given maybe what they're promised. Who knows what they're promised? Who knows the conversations? We can speculate and we can say everything else about it. But yeah, I think that was the kind of the worm had turned with Poch, and look, all the same players that are calling for him to leave then are the same players, some of the same players that call him for him to come back. So, fans as well, right? Fans saying they wanted him out, now they want him back because of the football that we were playing. But they, a lot of people have short memories. We have Dele Alli in, prime Dele Alli, the only Dele Alli that, in the form that he was in. Ericsson, Toby, Jan, Dembele, obviously he'd gone just before that champion, in the January. We'd had a lot better players than we potentially have now. But look, I think it was like Adam was kind of touching on it. It's kind of we know what's kind of happening, right? And we know how it's going to go. It's not necessarily one person's fault, two people's fault. It's everyone's fault, from the top to the bottom. I mean, all right, the under-18s are in a final, but because we've got bloody
imagine if we win that, it'd be the first trophy since 2008. Our youth team can't be that bad if we've got to the final, right? Can't be that
like
bad.
I said before, and obviously going to the training ground, seeing the academy, the whole mantra of the club is wrong. The vision of the academy is to create Champions League players. I mean, what the hell does that get you? A Champions League player? Well, all right, you could argue Harry Kane is the only one really. Then the next couple of, the next three are Harry Winks, Japhet Tanganga, and Oliver Skip. So are those three in the same bracket as Harry Kane? Absolutely not.
Ollie Skip for me is I love Ollie Skip. I think Adam, you were saying it to me the other day, and I made you right entirely. He's one of the best when the transition, when you lose the ball and the other team start to break. He's one of the best defensive tacklers from when he's chasing the game I've seen. Like, his timing is absolutely exceptional.
I don't know how many players that can tackle someone from behind, win the ball, and very, very clearly the ref doesn't even have to second guess. It's like that wasn't a foul. From behind, he gets the ball, not the player.
Yeah. Well, before we move on to that though, Alex, I just want to ask you this, right? So I made the point on my video today that just like Adam, I don't usually find myself overly criticizing Daniel Levy all the time, because in most of the debates that I have, I like to be play devil's advocate, and most of the weight is criticism of Daniel Levy. So I end up kind of defending him. But actually, there's loads of things to blame Daniel Levy for. But one of the things I think is critical to call out is the fact that he tried the big brand name manager that plays defensive football to satiate and appease desperate Tottenham fans who would think that after Poch, you need somebody who's a winner to come in to take us over that next step. He tried it in Mourinho. It didn't work for one reason or another. The football sucked. And he got fired, rightly or wrongly, obviously wrongly before a cup final. But then to go again and try it again, forget the Nuno thing. That was obviously a mistake. But to go again with Conte after already trying the shit football defensive manager, big brand name that didn't work with Mourinho, was the Conte thing always doomed to fail from the start? Because his style, his whole thing doesn't mix well with the whatever version of Tottenham's ethos we have. It's obviously not one that works with Conte, right?
There was no point of getting him in the first place.
Right.
There's absolutely no point of getting him in the first place. That's the point. I mean, I just need to come back on that Skip point. Again, we're going over the top again about Skip. I like Skip, but at the end of the day, he's only had a few good performances. I'm now going over the top about him. He needs to have another couple of a season again, and that's it. He's good, but that's it. But that's all I need to say on Skip. Moving on to this, because I've just digressed on that. I have to say this. I mean, it's like I said. I said this on Chris Cowlin's show. On my first fan cam, when he thought he saw a fanboy, because I actually was very fond of him in terms of what he done as a YouTuber doing the stadium, and and then he heard the truth come from my mouth, and that's it. And hence the fourth, all the comments were saying, "What's this guy talking about? What's this guy talking about?" I said we should never have sacked Pochettino. We should never have sacked Pochettino. And since that day we sacked Pochettino, I zoned out. I completely zoned out. And when Mourinho came into the picture, I was zoned out. And that's it. The whole thing with Conte and Nuno, I blame completely on Paratici. And I blame Levy. Because I'm sorry, you should never have bought him in the first place. If you did his research, the guy is overhyped, and that's it. He's honorary scout, head scout, and that's it. And that's why it is. I don't look at Conte, it's all his fault. I think I agree with what Adam's saying. It's everyone's to blame, and that's it. But the fact is, I mean, Conte is still going to get another job. He'll still get another job because somebody likes a guy like Conte, and they're going to do what he wants. You could see it wasn't going to work when you hear statements saying, well, we've got to do it the way that they want to do it, not the way that I want to do it. And again, who's the winner? It ain't Tottenham. You know what I mean? I think that, again, I get where people are saying, and I'm not defending Conte because he's been terrible. You know what I mean? He's been absolutely awful, and I never wanted him in the first place. But I was going with the fact that we wanted to win now. Win now. So this is why I laugh when people are saying to me, we need to give it a few years. Well, it's quite funny because contract's ending at the end of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The whole back.
So the point I'm making is just so I could just land on this. My point is that if we should have either gone for another manager like Poch, or just carried on from there. From what we've just seen now over the last how many years, it's been a waste of time. It's been an absolute waste of time, and that's it. And that's all I need to say.
I agree, mate. I agree. Listen, we got a surprise guest coming in, and I think I have to get the guest selection out for this one because you might not guess who it is. Let's have a look.
All right, next contestant, spin the wheel again, please.
Ladies
Still
and
haven't
gentlemen,
put me on there.
Oh, I need to update that for sure. I need to update so much. I haven't done
like your piss stained trousers as well in your intro. Yeah?
That stays. That always will stay.
It will stay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show, friend of the show, big mate of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, I can make some noise for Mr. Brian Daigle. What's crack-a-lacking, Daigle? How you doing?
Here he is.
Here
he is, the stranger. Doesn't return phone calls like Danny Kiriakou anymore.
Mate,
guy.
He's a busy man these days, mate. He's a busy man.
First of all, Sean, I can't remember how long it's been since I've been on your channel, so it's good to be back. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up, Adam. I haven't seen you for a while. Alex, my man, how are you doing? And you, Barry. Listen, mate, I've been working all week. I forgot what it's like. I've been coming back, mate. I've been doing my best impression of you. I'm going home and I'm in bed by about 8 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with
that. It's a special occasion tonight. It's a special occasion. I'm up late.
Have you got tomorrow off then, or are you just?
No, I'm working, mate. I'm working tomorrow. I'm working.
As it all started out with it in that whole new world.
Mate, loving it. Absolutely loving it. It's in the industry and the position that I was doing prior, as you know, and really, really enjoying it.
Nice, mate. Nice. Well, I'm going to come straight in on this one for you, right? Because I haven't heard your take on it. Who's responsible for this shit show? Alex is saying last 18 months has been completely pointless. I tend to agree with him. I think it has been a bit of it's even more kind of compounded on by the fact that this 18 months, whilst we've been doing bits to kind of rebuild the squad and we're getting places a little bit there, bit by bit, but to have to start again now with a new manager when you know that Chelsea are going through their transition and they're going to figure it out really quick. Liverpool are going to do their transition and figure that out really quick. If they get Jude Bellingham or whoever else, they'll be a different entity next year. And you've got Newcastle chomping at the bit. So...
Oh, is he gone?
Oh. So,
do you know what? He asked me the question.
What are your thoughts?
I think he's bracing himself. He asked me the question, "Who do I blame?" And he's paused whilst he's thinking, "Who could I possibly blame?" That's what I think it is.
I'm still here.
I was just saying, you absolutely froze. I was like, I think it's because you asked, "Who do I blame?" But what I will say on this, Sean, I don't know if you saw the tweet about you know where I solely put the blame. But I had this chat with you. I sent it to you in a voice note. I said, listen, if you want to blame Levy and Enoch, you're right. If you want to blame Conte and Paratici, you're right. If you want to blame the scouts and the medical team, you're right. And if you want to blame the players, you're right.
Absolutely.
You know. It will never, ever change where I solely put the blame. Never, ever, ever. Because we're going through this again. And then we've heard today, even the new managers that potentially could be coming in, having the doubts about it. It's just a mess. But this whole club, from top to bottom, inside out, is just rotten to the core. And everyone's got, as you said, I've been using your terminology, Sean, in this big pizza pie. Yeah. Everyone is up for a slice. There's just one mammoth slice that I sliced bigger than anyone else.
Yeah. Daniel Levy gets a New York slice in your mind, and everyone else
gets a New York, Chicago, and all the other big pizza places in the States.
All right. So, I think we all agreed that it's a bit of a mess, and that everyone does deserve a slice. Let's pivot. Let's move forward now to essentially where do we go from here? And I'll start with you, Adam. Right. Before we get into which manager, we can talk about which manager you might want in a minute. But do we take this opportunity? Should Daniel Levy take this opportunity to, if not to do the full factory reset, because that would require them selling the club, and that's obviously an incredibly unlikely scenario. But, Paratici's got the sort of Damocles hanging over his head anyway. Any day now, the Italian jurisdiction could get the full force of the UEFA FIFA ban, and consequently, as Brian was putting out there, a lot of managers might not want to get involved in a club that they won't know who's pulling the strings on, shall we say? So should we deal with the director of football situation before we deal with the manager situation?
No, I mean, potentially, but we wouldn't want to hang on too long with the manager situation. I don't want to see Ryan Mason looking after the club until the summer. I want to see someone coming in immediately. And if we're going to do that, we need to just go straight for the manager, and we need to find look. We're not going to struggle to get a manager in the door. And a manager of decent quality, because at the end of the day, like, you look at the likes of Potter was doing really well at Brighton, and he took the Chelsea. He took the Chelsea mantle for even though they were going through transition, they had a brand new owner and managers, and he took a gamble, and he knew full well he was going to go into a job that was going to be one of the most difficult jobs he ever had. It was probably going to tarnish his reputation, and he did it anyway, because you cannot turn down a big club. And there are some managers out there who, like, you couldn't go and get a Carlo Ancelotti, for example. You just couldn't. He's not going to risk his reputation on Tottenham, but you could go and get an Amorim or a Frank. What's his name? I can't remember his full name now. But
Thomas Frank.
Thomas Frank, that's the one. You could get a Thomas Frank.
Frankie boy, what's his last name? No, you got it. It's Frank.
That's the one. Or for sure, I genuinely believe you could bring back Pochettino, because I think that he seriously loves the club. I think that he feels like he has unfinished business. So I don't have any concerns about not being able to bring in a manager. We're Tottenham Hotspur, and irrespective of the fact that we're an absolute show right now, we're still Tottenham Hotspur. We're still a club with so much to offer an up and coming manager and someone who could really. They're getting the opportunity to stand in the spotlight and show what they can do, and it is going to be a case of someone coming in that has patience, and not be someone like Conte who calls for patience but then goes completely off the boil at the first sign of trouble. We need someone who has patience, who comes in and calls for patience and is willing to build the club up from the bottom up.
But what's it going to take, Nick? I'll let you finish your point. I'll continue. I'll come to you in a second, Adam. I'll come to you in a second, Nick. Adam, what's it going to take to get the fans? The lack of patience. Conte's right when it comes to the impatience from the fans is palpable, right? And it's unhelpful. He's right when he said it. I don't think he should say it, at least not in that kind of forum, but he's right when he says it. The demand for a trophy, whether it's people that are leaving out, that are talking about the gap, the 20-year trophy gap or whatever else, even though people that back Conte are still referencing the trophy gap, people that aren't backing Conte are mentioning it as well. What's it going to take for the new manager, whoever it is, to get the patience that Conte was asking for that the fans didn't give? Is it attractive football?
The management? Or for the fans to have the patience?
For the fans, because obviously, ultimately, the lack of patience is from the fans, and Levy and everyone else is responding to fan discontent, right? So, what's it going to take for the fans to go, all right, I'll give this guy the 3 years that Arteta had, or I'll give this guy the 5 years that Poch got?
Attractive football might be the answer, maybe, but I don't even think we have to resort to that. I don't believe that'll be the case at all, because at the end of the day, if we get to the end of this season and we bring in the two centre backs and the goalkeeper that we were told we're going to get, and I genuinely believe that's what we're going to get, we're not going to have to worry about just playing attractive football. We can have an absolutely outstanding team at the start of next season. We've already got Destiny Udogie coming in to play at left wing back, and that's an area that we're seriously suffering in right now. And we're going to bring in our two centre backs, and we're going to bring in our goalkeeper, and we're going to be a completely different team. I'm not worried about what we need to do, because we will be playing excellent football next season. I have no doubt about it. I genuinely have no doubt about it whatsoever. But I cannot answer you specifically. Like, if we were in a worse situation than what we are in, what's it going to take to get the fans on side? I have no idea, because to be perfectly honest, I'm definitely counterculture with respect to the way most fans feel. I get very irked with people who have no patience, and like, I don't want to, fall out with the entire rest of the Tottenham fandom, but I do think an awful lot of people out there do not have enough patience. We live in a generation where we're in an age of excess, and everyone wants everything right now. It's a fast food generation, and people are just not willing to be patient, and that's just the fact of the matter. So I'm not sure anything is going to make the fans happy until we get to where we expect to be as a club who calls ourselves a top six club, and we want to remain a top six club. In fact, we want to be in the top four at the end of every season now. We've been patient with the infrastructure. We've been patient with the new stadium build and with the training situation. And it's a case now of getting the on the field situation sorted, so we can actually perform like a Liverpool, a Man City, a Manchester United, etc.
So you're blaming
everyone,
Netflix and Amazon for the impatience of the fans. And I take your point, right? No one wants to wait anymore. I remember growing up, you had to wait like a week to watch the next episode of whatever it was.
Yeah. We're in a binge culture. Yep, we're in a binge culture, so 100%. I blame social media. I blame like all the apps. I blame you've got our brains have been rewired by technology for us to think that we can have everything now, and that's just not the case in real life. That's not the case in business. So Levy had decided, and this is an area where I give him full props, even though I have plenty of things to criticize, but full props. He decided he was going to focus on the infrastructure, get us, an incredible stadium that will make us more money, get us a training ground that is going to do better for get better performances out of the players, all that kind of stuff. He focused on that, and now it's time to focus on the football side of things. I give him all the kudos in the world for that, but that's because I'm willing to be patient. I'm willing to have for that to have happened. That's a springboard for us. Whereas the rest of the fans are just like, "Where's the trophies? Where's the trophies?" I'm like, "Sorry, lads, you're not owed trophies. You are not owed trophies, no matter who you support."
We're certainly entitled, aren't we? I think as a fan base.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there are very few other clubs that demand them quite to the same extent as we do. Barry,
yes,
Ranji Torino. You asked me to bring up a certain photo. Is this who your future is?
So I've got the solution to the next manager and board takeover at Tottenham Hotspur. Here you go.
Who's in charge? Who's in charge?
And box office.
I am not happy. I am seriously not happy with director of football, Mr. Post Office. I'm absolutely not happy with that whatsoever.
Okay.
It's a main event to you, Adam. It's the main event.
Main event to you. Is that Alex? Is that how it works now? Like for people that support you and the friends, they're Mr. Box Office. So everybody else, everyone who gives you a hard time, my name is Mr. Main Event to you.
It's the main event. It's the main event.
Alex, I told you, your best name, and I love it. And the Professor of Truth and Entertainment is just the greatest thing ever. When I hear you say that, it puts the biggest smile on my face when I hear you say that every single time.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately,
if only you put as much.
The Professor of Truth and Entertainment is the Professor of Lies, because he called out Sean earlier for saying something that was completely untrue. So when he comes out with his, "I'm going to restart, I'm going to refresh, blah 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 blah," the main event, he was spreading absolute lies. Mr. Flip Flop Office, Mr. Boxer Flip Flops. He's here for everyone's entertainment.
Alex, do you have anything to say to me about that accusation earlier? Do you want to apologize now, or do you have the receipts? Did you go and get the receipts to prove what I was saying is true? Because I don't think I said those things. You said that.
Okay. I thought you were talking to Barry over here, who waffles on so much. I mean, Barry, have you forgot the subject already, bruv? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No,
Sean, you've been waiting for that apology for a long time,
Alex, I got receipts. You got no receipts. You got waffle. You're coming with waffle, bruv.
Look, I got a present for you, Alex. You are absolutely 100% the Mr. Box of Flip Flops. Oh dear. Let's get back to it, Nick. So I forgot where we were in the conversation. In terms of moving forward, Paratici or director of football or manager? Like, do you want? So you want both to go? You think the Paratici, whether you think he's done a good job or a bad job, is kind of irrelevant if he can't do any job at all? Should UEFA and FIFA put that ban down, right? So in your mind, because you can't do both at the same time. For me personally, like a new manager probably wants to wait and see who his director of football is going to be. So if you're Daniel Levy, are you thinking about let's chop Paratici off, let's find a new director of football, and then let him be a part and a participant in the conversation around the next manager? But all of that stuff takes time, and if you're up for that, then obviously it means that you're more likely to have to tolerate Ryan Mason until the end of the season. And I don't know if you're okay with that as a concept anyway. But like, where's your thoughts on?
I don't think it matters who's there. I think Ryan Mason, Ledley King, Doris the Tea Lady. It's 10 games of football, right? That I guess what's more important to the club at the moment is finishing in the top 4. That's all we got left. In terms of Paratici, look, if he can't do business in the only country that he seems to be able to do business in, then what's the point? It's almost as good as having the person that was brought in for the naming rights that is still called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, right? So it's another kind of embarrassment there. I mean, the only good, I mean, obviously, look, Romero, Kulusevski, Bentancur, Emerson Royale, maybe those few players were good, right? But the rest of them, Perisic, Basuma, I don't know. It's been kind of, for every one good signing that he's made, the next one's kind of been a bit average, right? So, look, I think that there's mileage in the whole Paratici going as well. Will he be the one that ultimately, like you say, Sean, in charge of the whole in charge of the whole hiring of the next manager? I don't think it matters who it is. So look, who knows? could be Conte. The announcement could be Conte signing a new contract. That's how crazy this football club is, right? So I think it's a time where you kind of it's all unraveling. And I said probably about 6 months ago, if we go on this run and then it could also, it's like that jumper with that little nick in it, instead of cutting it, we keep pulling, and by the end of it, it just all unravels. And I think this is the start of it unraveling, really. So we either need to, and then, like kind of what Adam says, there needs to be some patience. We live in this world of instant gratification where we just go and expect things. We go somewhere, we expect that to be done, we expect this to be done. We don't want to, what was wrong with the good old British public loving to queue for hours on end to go and get? No, we want to be fucking straight in the door now. We're going to be straight in the door, straight on that ride. That's it. We've got no patience for anything. So Adam's speaking absolute facts there. So look, I think
I agree completely.
I think it's just whatever happens, we've got 10 games left. It doesn't really matter who's in charge of the football, from the football side of things. Mason, I mean, the only thing is, if Mason's
does matter, though. I think it does matter, mate. It's massively important, because the difference between finishing 4th and 6th is 60 million quid.
I'd just rather finish 8th and just be done
but then
with
there's no money or no additional money. Wherever the transfer budget would be with 4th is 80 million, 70 million lower without it. And you want to give the new guy the last bits of the tools to finish, right? And you'd hope that there's 2 centre backs, a goalkeeper, and at least a creative player. 4 players. If you want to go to the next level, that's probably 40 million. That's 100. You need another 150 million pound window, right? And that's not even counting in that Harry Kane probably wants to sod off, right? And
we don't need that, do we, Sean?
To me, finishing 4th,
we don't need to sign anyone. Yeah, but we don't need to sign anyone. Reguilon's coming back. Winks is coming back. Lo Celso's coming back. And Ndombele's coming back. We don't need to sign anyone.
Sean, you know what it is as well, mate? What I want to say on that is, you're right. We do need another 150 million plus window, but we need 150 million spent on 2 or 3 players, not 7.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I don't think we need 7, do we? I think we need 4. We need 4
but you know what I mean? Every single time when we say we're spending 150 million, or not even 100, with the Gareth Bale at 7, with Jose Mourinho at 7, with this 150, it was 7. We just need to go and buy 2 quality centre back. If we sign 2 quality, and I mean quality, we are talking top quality, we're a completely different animal. Completely, rather than going scattergun and finding. Simeon said it on We Are Tottenham. What was he been saying? He goes, we look at a player, not for the. I can't remember the exact words he used, but it's like, we see a good player. Doesn't matter if he fits in the system or not. Oh, look, he's a good player. Let's get him. Well, it's all well and good. He's a good player. If he don't play in the system the manager plays, what's the point of him? What's the point?
That's the Moneyball system, right? Moneyball. Well, I guess Moneyball's a little bit more complicated than that, but generally speaking, you're right. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that Tottenham Hotspur, especially if all the rumours are true about, people like Richarlison just being opportunities that the club have tracked for 4 years. But then you never know wherever these rumours are coming from, or when managers, like, this is why I always think that, when managers go down swinging and call out the chairman, it doesn't really matter how many managers in a row do it. because each and every one of them have their own self-preservation, like, to think about, and want to go down saying it wasn't my fault, it was someone else's. Just like if ever you've been fired from a job, it takes a special type of person to go, yeah, do you know what? I deserve to get fired. I was an embarrassment of an employee. Most people will find a reason to justify their own effort and to find someone else to blame. And so, like, if Conte's going down swinging, and even if all the previous managers, like Glenn Hoddle, write in that book, I remember, Brian, we had a debate when I first knew you last year about Glenn Hoddle's book, and you were calling out these quotes from it, and I was like, dude, like, you know, I'd love to read Daniel Levy's book. If we're going to take people's opinions as fact, then if Daniel Levy brings out a book and says, actually, no, Conte was a nightmare to work with, Daniel, blah, 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 like, you know what I mean? And so I don't know whether or not, or how much truth you can really take from any of those things, but for sure, there seems to be, or at least there appears to be, a track record of, if opportunities present themselves, then we go and get them, even if we don't necessarily need the players. And one of those areas where I absolutely 100% agree that, because I have a problem with this idea of like a club signing versus a manager signing, Conte signing versus, no, it was a club signing. I think that you have to have club signings, because I think the average tenure of a manager that comes into any football club is less than 2 years in the Premier League. And the average tenure of a first contract for a player that comes into the first team is over 4 years. And so therefore, like, most of those players are going to see 2 managers at least, maybe even 3 managers during their tenure. And clubs have to be thinking about the future as well as the present. And that's the reason why you have a director of football, right? So for me, the only time where I'd sit there and say Daniel Levy's completely fucked up, if you sign a player like Dan Juma on a 6-month contract and you don't even bother to ask Conte whether he's okay with it, then that reeks of like of ignorance and incompetence, because he's only here for 6 months, and so is the manager that you're buying him for or you're loaning him for.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Can I just say something on that? Yeah.
Yeah, of course you can.
The thing that gets to me about this, yeah, I hope I haven't got my point. I haven't got my point, but the thing that gets to me though, the thing that gets to me about this is that this club signing and the manager signing, yeah. Why is it right? This is again, why are you getting Conte in the first place? Because he does a specific system. This is the thing.
Yeah.
So you know, it's the whole thing, and the thing that concerns me. Okay, because we've done the whole thing about Conte. He should have gone. He's gone. Yeah. The point that concerns me: why is he talking to the players for? Getting their consensus on it. Why? Because they're the ones that have been messing it up, and the ones that I think Adam just mentioned it, because that was really got to me. That really got to me. Yeah. I have to big up to David Harris, because he's the one that looks good here. Because he's the one from the beginning day dot after Mourinho got. We were having debates about Mourinho. He said the players are absolutely useless. Yeah, they've got things to answer for. To this moving,
Dave's usually spot on with his opinions. To be fair, I always agree.
To be honest with you, he's been spot on with most of the players, especially Virgil van Dijk. Yeah, Virgil van Dijk.
Here we go. Virgil, he's found the receipts. He's about to start bringing them out.
He's not Virgil. Yeah. He's no Virgil van Dijk. He's just Virgil Dyer. Terrible. That's it. Yeah. Right. But the point I'm making is that the thing that gets to me, why is he confirmed with the players for? They're the ones that threw Poch under the bus and now wanting Poch back all of a sudden. Mugs. Absolute mugs. Yeah. Right. I don't like the fact that Mason's coming in charge, because it stinks of when Mourinho got sacked. It absolutely stinks of it.
Well, it's exactly the same, isn't it? It's exactly the same.
Absolutely stinks of it. Yeah. Right. If you're gonna sack him, have somebody to replace him. Yeah. That's all I need to say, because it just doesn't make no sense. Because the thing is, though, what will happen? Dan Juma, who I'm not blaming here, by the way, I'm not blaming. He has a good 10 games. He has a good 10 games. Yeah. What happens when they're still trying to find the manager? They'll sign him. They'll sign that player. Yeah. And then the manager that comes in, he's stuck with that player, and he's sitting there thinking, I'm going to fit him in. And that's been the problem for the last 4 years. The last 4 years. We've got a mixture of Poch, Nuno, Mourinho, Conte players, and players like that. And this is what my concern is. You've got the players
Well,
on
but
loan.
so Alex, just quickly, but I won't interrupt your point. Apart from this, when you have a consequence of not having a single manager see out an entire season since 2018, all those players that were signed in 2018, a hell of a lot of them are still on their first contract.
That's
right.
the point.
So you're going to have like the average manager, the average player will see 2.4 managers during their first contract. At Tottenham, if you were signed in 2019, you've seen 4. Right, because we haven't got a single manager through an entire season, so that's just like it's life, unfortunately. But you're right. I'll let you carry on.
But look, my point is what I'm trying to land on at the moment. When you're talking about Arsenal, right, and talking about Manchester United, okay, what's the difference between Tottenham and Arsenal and Manchester United? Manchester United have got players that work well together because they've got that chemistry. Yeah. How are you going to give her that chemistry if you're getting different players who play different systems? Yeah. So the new manager, he might want to play good attacking football. Now, what player? You might say, oh, good players can play any sort of football, but certain players can't. Certain players can't. Yeah. I'll tell you this for a fact. Everyone's going on about banter, yeah? Oh, he can do it all fine, yeah? Why did he not work out at Juventus after Conte left? Tell me.
Because he's a reject, Alex, like you said.
Tell me. You see what I'm saying? This is the thing. You do not know if a player is going to work out in the next team. You do not know that.
Of course. Yeah, 100%.
You see what I'm saying? You know, look at Hazard, for instance. Hazard. Everyone, he was whipping it up in the Premier League. Goes to Real Madrid, flop.
Awful. Yeah.
Absolute flop.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? And this is the thing. This is what really.
Yeah, but that's the risk, isn't it? There's no such thing as a sure thing, Alex. Like there's always going to be that risk.
I know, but the point I'm making is when we got Poch in. Okay, I don't like going back to Poch, but the 40s, that was our best shot. That was our best time. Let's be honest here, but not when our relevant time, because we know what our relevant time was back in 1960, 1980, and I don't need to say any more on that. Yeah, my point is, yeah, when we had Poch got Vertonghen. A central defender, he wasn't getting on with Coupier, got with a Coupier, got Alderweireld in, his teammate. Look what happened there. He had Dembele, weren't getting on with Adebayor, got rid of Adebayor, got people that around him, like Dyer, in the midfield. Look what happened there. And then he got Kane in, and that's it, and Dele Alli. And it all worked well. You see what I'm saying? The chemistry was all working well, and that's it. If Tottenham Hotspur are going to do something, okay, and I'm not saying we're going to win trophies, if we're going to move forward, we need to start figuring out an identity, and that's it, and having a plan, and that's it, yeah? Because I'm fed up having the same conversation every single year. I'm sorry, I'm bored of it, yeah? And we're not going to learn nothing, and that's it. And that's all I need to say. Mr. Box Office talking the truth again, and that's it. If you don't know, get to know. Back to you, Sean, say something stupid again. I'm done.
Honestly, Alex, you were so calm and talking so well, and then it's like when the EastEnders just come.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it was like right. So this is my point. And if you don't know, you're going to get to know. Come back to Sean. He's going to say something
stupid. Welcome to the show, Ben. How you doing, mate?
Doing all right. It's a chill evening, so why not spend it with a few of my favourite people? Haven't been on the show in a very long time.
Mate,
so
I haven't done.
I think here. So
this is like one of the. I think I've only done like 3 or 4 live streams in like 6 months, man. To be honest, so
I think we've spoken more about coffee than we have spent on a stream together in the last.
Yeah, I still need to get that coffee machine, mate. I still need to get it. Let me bring you straight into this one, then, mate. Look, because I mean. We can continue just in case you've got a different take. If you agree with Adam, Nick, and Alex, then we can. And if Brian, or if neither of you have a different take on it, then we can move on to the manager situation. But I just did want to figure out whether both of you, or either you start with you, Ben. I'll come to Brian. Whether or not you do have an issue with, or you do think that the legal issues of Paratici are a problem. Whether or not you think he's a good director of football is a little bit separate. Just because, you know, any day it might not happen, or it might not happen until next year, or it might happen tomorrow morning. But because we just don't know, is that really a feasible working relationship? Like, you know, you need this director of football. He's supposed to be in charge of the reboot of the scouts, of the youth team. He's supposed to be in charge of the rebuild. Is his kind of job tenable? And if not, then should we wait until we get a new guy in before we decide who the next manager is?
I think it's time in the history of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club we had a restructure of the entire organisation. Because as much as me and Brian are going to shout Levy out until our throats don't work anymore, it's never going to happen. They make it unless they get a magic number. It's never going to happen. So what needs to happen, from my point of view, is we need to start looking at it like an umbrella organisation. I love umbrella organisations where there's an overarching people that control the money, and then they have separate organisations. So Tottenham Hotspur as an organisation should only be focused on football people. Let's say there's a money board. They say, you've got this much of a budget this year. You spend it however you want. And if you fail, you're going to be accountable for it. And that's something I would like as an organisation entirely. Just a bit of accountability. Because Paratici isn't accountable for the stuff he's done for the football sides of things. He's run off. Run off. Where has he gone? There is not a single accountable person at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. It's run like a social club. And that goes back to the All or Nothing documentary with Danny Rose having the argument with Mourinho. He said when they had an argument, instead of saying, okay, I disagree with your opinion, what he just said was, I'll go and speak with Daniel.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen at any billion-dollar organisation. Any billion-dollar organizer. It doesn't even happen in my coffee shop when I was working there. If there was a problem with one of my baristas, they would speak with me, I would speak with my boss, and they would speak with their boss. There is a chain of command. But it seems like at Tottenham, they go straight to the boss. It doesn't happen at any organisation. So the fact that it happens at a multi-million to £1 billion company, it's wrong. And that needs to be restructured. Daniel Levy, whether you like him or not, needs to start acting like a boss and delegate it. And if Paratici's doing a shit job, he says, you fucked up, mate. You're gone.
Yeah.
You get someone else.
And the problem is that if you do get rid of him, or even if you don't get rid of him, and then you allow the situation to happen right now, Paratici chooses the next manager, for example, right? And Paratici continues with his job, continues with the rebuild, and then all of a sudden in the July, during the middle of the transfer window, he does get that, the sword does come down. Guess who's going to be taking over the negotiations for any transfers we need, right?
I know. And that's why I would clear them out now. I would clear them out now.
You want them to go now?
Every single person, that's medical team, that's recruitment team, it's the board, I would clear everyone. It's total fresh. I said it in a video you did a couple of weeks ago. Total reset.
Yeah.
Bring one entirety.
The total reset requires the owners to go as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the problem with that is
to necessarily, but if they say, right, this is the team now, we're going to step back and watch how this goes.
They've never done that, have they?
They've never done that. But let's see if they can do it. Give them one more chance.
I don't think they ever will.
They never will they?
The problem for me is, I'm sure you guys, not to get into the technical business side of things, but you know how I put out some videos a while back about the different types of ownership you can get, and not that I'm conflating American ownership that has to be therefore driven with debt. I've got no problem with Americans coming. I actually think American ownership is the most suitable when it comes to the branding and the NFL and the fact that there's so much interest from American tourism. Like, there's absolutely value in a new owner that's American, but the vast majority, or in fact, nearly all of the scenarios that I can envision in my mind from American ownership comes with a large amount of venture capital or leveraged debt. And if you've seen recently, for example, what's happened with, I don't want to bore anyone, so I'll talk about it for 10 seconds and nothing more, but with the Silicon Valley Bank and what's happened with Credit Suisse over the last couple of days and then getting bought out by UBS, all of that stuff is as a consequence of rising interest rates and businesses not being able to pay back the debt on their loans. And so for me, there's never been a more dangerous time to get stuck into debt-based ownership,
of course,
that is unstructured, and it would be unstructured until the deal
also
happens.
American money in general, because this is completely and utterly a left field. The dollar is going to collapse in the next 2 weeks. It's anyone that
what makes you say that?
I've been on a skiing trip recently, and all the people that I've talked to have said the dollar is going to collapse, and maybe American money is not going to come in anytime soon. They could be wrong, but if
I don't think that the dollar will collapse. But either way, currency rate risk is definitely a problem as well, for sure. 100%. I agree with you. Yeah.
If all the people I know that trade in the dollar are now starting to say invest in gold, that's a worry for me if we suddenly get American ownership, because the dollar and the pound are a thing. It is a thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I told you this. I wanted Todd Bowley to be, apart from some of the members of his board, which is hilarious because they're the unluckiest people on the planet. And I'm very happy they own Chelsea because they can make shit from wine. It's brilliant. But American owners is the only way.
Todd Bowley's got a massive amount of. We don't know what the percentage of his ownership is based around the VC and what the debt is and how it's distributed. Well, anyway, it's a really boring conversation probably for most people that are listening. Sorry, go on, Brian. You want to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just going to do. When we talk about Paratici, what I will say is he started to change things within the forget what's going on the pitch. I mean, he's like, right, this is. Previously, whatever it's been going on here, this is a clusterfuck of crap that needs to be sorted out. And he has started to address those things, but they are all going to take time. But I think with this case around him, and if Conte is going, I just don't think there's any place. I don't think there's any place for him. And I started watching yesterday on my break what Lee McQueen said on Sky Sports yesterday. And he's right. If you look at it, the two most successful managers in recent time have been Poch and Harry Redknapp. And he said both of them had their best time, have done it without director of football. Yes, there was Paul Mitchell there with Harry Poch for a bit, but he weren't there for the whole time. So we've had these. Every time we've had these directors of football, they've either been wrong for the club or wrong for the manager. And we've it's like. When and Sean, I remember having this conversation we had. I've said it on so many streams. When I look at the director of football and I look at the manager's past that we've lost, you look at it. Daniel Levy has a method where he wants to buy young, sell high, identify youth. When we bought Paratici, or brought, I wanted Luis Campos. Luis Campos is the total embodiment of what Daniel Levy would want. But I like Daniel Levy, and this is how I've been saying it, and you'll see the link somehow. You remember the movie with Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman? You know when Richard Gere says, "I'm afraid of heights," and they're like, "Why are you in the penthouse?" And they go, "Well, it's the bed." Or when they're in the balcony. Luis Campos would have been the best one, but Paratici was the big name and the big broker of Ronaldo deals and these big deals. So he's the best. We have to. I think Luis Campos would have been one.
Where's Luis Campos now?
He's at Monaco. Oh no, that's right. That's right. You're right.
PSG.
Or we can have Harry Redknapp and Paratici and just be full dodgy.
Mate, you know what?
I'd love to see that. Mate, just have the dodgiest two people on the planet working with each other. You have Harry in his Range Rover. You have Paratici's wherever he is at the moment. It will be dodgy boys. It'll be Delboy and Rodney.
I don't know if you saw We Are Tottenham TV today or yesterday on their update. There's talk about if it is Mason that comes over, it might be Michelle Vorm and Harry Redknapp and Defoe helping them. And I spoke to Ben today and I was like, what is this? Is this our new management team or a fucking power league?
Yeah, but hold on. But Brian, a lot of people, I heard a lot of people on Savage Show, loads of people in the comments, loads of people were saying, and I've heard it a few times, people saying, we need to get Tottenham people dotted throughout the club, right? To maintain that ethos. People that understand what it's like to be what Tottenham is to the Tottenham fans, and get that at the coaching level, at the managerial level, and in the boardroom level. And I was always like, well, we have some of them, right? We do. We have people like Ledley King involved in the club. We have people like Jermaine Defoe involved in the club, And so then you hear rumors that there's going to be some getting the band back together and giving everybody a little squeeze of responsibility. Yeah. I'm like, and people suddenly are not happy with it, and I'm like,
well, you know what it? No, you know what it is, Sean. If you look at this, and you've got a point there, we've all cried out for it and said we want Tottenham players. Like you look at Ajax, Van der Sar. We're talking footballing superstars here. I do not put Michel Vorm.
No, yeah, not Michel Vorm.
In that category. Listen, Jermaine Defoe is doing his coaching badges at Spurs.
I don't know if Jermaine Defoe might be a Tottenham lad, right? But does he? I mean, listen, I'm not saying he doesn't. I don't know what he's like. I have met him once in Il Bordello's in London for a dinner out, but I don't know if he's got like. There's a difference between just being a Tottenham boy and having the intelligence or the kind of whatever the stones, the chops.
It's the political face. You need the political face for that sort of role. Van der Sar is excellent at what he does because he's a very intelligent bloke. He knows the game. He knows the Ajax setup. We don't have that setup. If you're going to do that sort of setup, you can't do that. You need to build that setup.
That takes time, doesn't it? Yeah.
That takes 20 years, if that, minimum.
And who would you?
Don't have that. I'll just fit with my Paratici thing. What I would say, what I would want to do, I don't know which way it would work with Tottenham or how it would work, but we seem to, like I said, have been doing well without the director of football. When we bring the director of football, there seems to be trouble. The one that did well was Paul Mitchell and Poch because they'd worked together. So I would rather that let's just say we brought in, let's say my personal choice for the next one, I really want Thomas Frank. I really do.
Okay. Perfect transition into the management. We'll go around the houses now.
If Thomas Frank came in, I would want it to be up to him if he wants a director of football, and if he wanted a director of football, then or the other way around. We appoint a director of football and say, right, who do you want? Who do you think can best? I don't want it to be Levy goes, right, we'll take this one here and then that one there. I want it to be there's a relationship there where there's a trust and a compatible ideas where it's not just right, you're the middleman to talk to him. So he, like Ben was saying, like that chain of command. I want it to be a marriage. The best ones we've had was Mitchell and Poch.
Sorry, Brian, 1 second, mate.
Yeah.
HBH, dude, don't even start that crap, mate. I don't know
what the hell?
What the fuck you're talking about, bro? Don't even go there or anything like that again, mate. And you're out of here. Like, stop.
You should be out of here right now, bro. In all honesty, that's just not on.
Yeah, fuck you. You're on the timeout.
Let's
come back and behave. Sorry,
what an absolute fool. But like I said, that partnership, if you look at it, it's kind of like when you set up your central defenders, it's a partnership. When you set up your midfielders, it's a partnership. The director of football and manager, if you can get that marriage successful, and he lets these two people, we never know what may happen. We never know what may happen. But that's why I think the manager, I don't know which way it would work. Does the director of football hire the manager, or if the manager comes in?
That's what it's supposed to be. The whole role of the director of football is to take care of and he's supposed to be the bigger picture, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you, Sean. Would it be in a way? Would it be? I don't know if this happens in football where the manager. Let's just say, like I said, it is Thomas Frank, and Thomas Frank got told one of the parts that you have in this job is you have to have a director of football. Let Thomas Frank have that decision. He knows footballing people. He knows who he gets on with.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Let the manager pick the director of football. The director of
football gets the manager, or the next manager comes in and he says you have to have a director of football. The manager picks them, not the chairman.
Not sure. Because again, the manager. So this is. I'm gonna just quickly answer this question from Luca 14 that I started, and then I'll come back round the top to Adam to get you back in the conversation round. But is it a fact, Sean, that the average Premier League manager is 2 years? Well, so the average Premier League manager since 1992, whatever, is 750 days, right? So it's 2 years and about half a month, give or take. But when you factor in, I'm not saying you should discount these guys or disclude them, but when you factor in, there's 6 managers that massively distort the average. Alex Ferguson, 21 years, even though he's at United for 30, 21 was in the Premier League. Obviously, Arsene Wenger, 22 years, the record. Joe Kinnear, believe it or not, 7 years at Wimbledon. Harry Redknapp, 8 years at West Ham. David Moyes 10 years at Everton, and Jurgen Klopp 8 years in counting. So I'm not saying discount them, but there's 3 different ways you can look at the average: the mean, the median, and the mode, or whatever. And if you slice off like the kind of like the extremes at either end, it's essentially 2 years. The average for Tottenham Hotspur, a lot of people say 15 managers. This will be manager number 16. It's a common theme, right? And over 23 years of his tenure, it sounds like a really big deal, but actually it's not 15 managers. It's 12 managers, because the 3 temp managers, the caretakers in Ryan Mason, one of the stints of David Pleat, and Allen, I forget his name, Clive Allen. Those 3 were literally just there for caretaker management for like a month or 2. So you take them out because they were never planned managerial spots. They were just there to take over. So you've got 12 managers over 23 years. It essentially is 2 years for Tottenham. So when people say that like Tottenham go through managers like, a hot knife through butter, in reality, the difference between the average managerial tenure at Tottenham and the average managerial tenure at any Premier League club ever. And I think there's been 270 Premier League clubs across 50 Premier League teams over the 30 odd years. There's no difference. There's no difference. So when people say that Tottenham will go through so many managers, it's just a consequence of being in charge for 23 years that it sounds bigger than it is. So 2 years, give or take, is the average manager of a Tottenham manager, and 2 years is also the average managerial tenure of any Premier League coach. And yet, like I say, when you factor in that when you sign a player for the first team, I'm not talking about loan deals, I'm not talking about youth contracts. When you sign a player for a first team for any Premier League club, generally speaking, they're on 4-year deals. So,
but if you also weigh up the success of the really big teams, they've always done it during times where they've given managers forever to play their time of football. So you from Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger all the way to Pep and Klopp. And now Arteta as well is showing what happens when you give a manager time. All the ones who have been given a manager's a considerable amount of time to be able to get the job they want done are the ones that end up being incredibly successful in terms of silverware.
But you have to have the right sort of
Bryce.
You have to have the right sort of manager that is going to give the fans what they're happy with to give it time. You see
but we had him and then we dumped him because it was Poch. I
totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. But this is where I think the director of football needs to come in. But it has to be somebody that, because the thing is that it works at Brighton. That's the thing. They're putting us to shame. And they've only been in the Premier League how many years?
Yeah, not
so
long.
This is the thing. The whole thing with De Zerbi and Graham Potter puts us to shame completely.
It does, yeah. No, they are the best example. They're the best current example. Leicester were a fantastic example 5 years ago. Yeah. And Brentford are also emerging as a brilliant example.
Exactly.
Right?
So this is the point I'm making. It's just, I understand. The thing is, though, we need to start again. We absolutely 100% need to start again. Yeah. But the whole point is, I mean, I'm only saying what I'm thinking now because I don't know what Daniel Levy's thinking anymore. You know what I mean? Because all I'm hearing now, I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Tuchel comes in. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think that's.
And how would you feel about Thomas? Yeah, let's take this opportunity.
I wouldn't support it. I wouldn't support it. I'll still watch the team, but I wouldn't support it. Sorry, I'm done. I'm not. Okay. I'm too long in the tooth. And if that's Paratici who's cooking what? Cooking nothing, bruv. That's all I need to say, bruv. Because he ain't cooking anything, bruv.
So we'll start with Thomas Tuchel, Alex. Why do you have a problem with Thomas Tuchel?
He doesn't play good football. Okay. Yep. He needs specific players to play his system, it looks like. Okay. He hasn't got any patience. He wants to win now. Okay. He's very hostile, whatever the word is, tense as well.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get what he wants. I mean, honestly, I just don't see the point. I don't see the point, and I think it's only to bring him in to keep players happy. Therefore,
I don't know if the players would be necessarily happy, right? But this guy, I don't know who this guy is. V Tottenham. He put out this tweet earlier, and I thought I'd bring it up because I want to get all your take on Thomas Tuchel. For me personally, the football that I've experienced of Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea is boring and rubbish, right? But he reckons, is he young? Does he get the best out of the current squad? Build, yes. Is he the best in-game manager in the world? His ability to be dynamic and pivot and make subs and change things up and be proactive, he thinks he is. Is he available? Yes. Is he a proven winner? Yes. And one of the things that he doesn't include on this list is the fact that Thomas Tuchel is a cup competition manager, right? He took Chelsea to 4 cup finals in his relatively short stint at Chelsea. And so if we're never going to win the league where we currently are, and we currently have Conte, who's definitely not a cup guy, and everybody wants a trophy, I'll come to you.
Can I just come back to you before you go into everybody else?
Of course,
what I will say is, what is the conversation with Levy? What is that conversation about? Because the fact is, what does Tuchel want out of this? What does he want? Because the fact is, we know we want Champions League. Okay, so the cups, being successful in the cups, don't really matter to Daniel Levy. So if we're not doing well in the league and we're doing well in the cups, what is the conversation going to be? You know what I mean? Is he going to be able to still continue with his job and continue the work that he needs to be doing? How is it going to work when he leaves? What is he going to leave behind so the next manager can work on him and then it carries on? Because success is not supposed to be short term; it's supposed to be long term. Because that's what fans want to hear, long term. Because I feel sorry for the young people, and as I say before, Mr. Box Office is on his unleashing time right now because it's Mr. Box Office time, right? The main event speaking again. But my point is, when the young people of today, like Dan THSC, all he needs to talk about is Daniel Levy. He ain't talking about people like David Gillen or anything like that, top players anymore, isn't it? It's only about what's behind the scenes.
It's a real shame that
that's what football's all about, Sean.
Don't want to be condescending
about, and that's why I have a go at you sometimes, because I say sit there and say, okay. But what is it got to do with me?
Why do you have a go at me sometimes?
Yes, I do, because I sometimes say to you, bro, when you're talking to me and trying to talk down, try and banter me about finances, bub, I didn't come into football about finances, bub. All I came into football about is what to win and see good football, and that's it. And that's what we're here for.
Finances are a big part.
I get that. I'm not trying to banter anyone about finances. I'm just saying that that's a massive part. It's a massive part of football. Massive part. So if I can shed some insight on it, then that's what I do. But I take your point about people like young Dan.
That's not having a go at Dan, by the way.
No, and neither am I. I don't even want to
disagree with that, though, Shawnee. Whenever you call me up, you're like, "Hey Ben, I'm going to banter you with finances." You just come out of the blue. I'm like,
you deserve it, mate.
You deserve it. Banter me about finances. Whoa, Shawnee!
Don't come bantering us about fucking coffee, Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He knows how to make it.
I'm going to do that next time, Barry. I'm just going to call you up, so I'm going to banter you up about some coffee.
Average.
That's
what I do. I want to bring Barry in first. Barry hasn't said anything.
Go.
Bazza, Thomas Tuchel. We're talking about Thomas Tuchel. We're going to move on through the managers, but Thomas Tuchel, is he? That Twitter, that tweet thing, it did change my mind a little bit. It did show a little bit of insight, and I was like, I don't like his football, but actually, his football in Germany was pretty good. He is flexible. He is dynamic. He is a cup competition guy. Is he the worst? I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Well, look, obviously he's the going to Daniel Levy Hotspur's plan of managers. If we go to obviously hiring ex-Chelsea managers, he's the third one in. Every third manager has been a Chelsea manager, has then been a Tottenham manager. So AVB, Jose, Conte, and now Tuchel. So obviously that means that it's going to happen because that's the kind of pattern that's emerged. Is it? I just think he's just, again, it's maybe the wrong manager at the wrong time, or the right manager at the wrong time. Conte was the right manager, but at the wrong time. Tuchel, again, very similar to Conte. He's not going to put up with any nonsense. He obviously, he will probably be more outspoken and probably get his point across maybe better in a more articulate way than what Conte would, but it's still going to be the same. I don't think it's going to be any difference. Yeah, I think you're right. Seeing that tweet and everything else
makes a good point. It does make a good argument.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're talking about putting ourselves in an opportunity to get to finals and to potentially get over the line, because I know Alex's favourite line is "Come and talk to me. Don't talk about them. They've won trophies. You can't talk about anyone else until they've won trophies." So,
right.
I don't know why Alex was talking about Brighton because they've not won any trophies, but I'll let him have that little one. He's flip flopping again on his opinion. But yeah, look, I don't think it matters. Would I be upset? No.
He's
Would
not
I be
he's not
excited?
he's
No.
definitely nowhere near my first choice. But in order to get the monkey off the back of the trophy drought, there's probably no one that's a better fit for cup football.
Yeah.
Of the people that we're linked with.
Skeletor, Shawnee.
Oh no, and I hate him. And also for what it's worth,
Skeletor.
There's a man
Have you ever seen A Bug's Life?
In the football club.
Have you ever seen A Bug's Life? The movie? It's Disney, I believe.
Yeah,
Maybe it's DreamWorks.
I have seen Bug's Life.
Yeah, he looks just like it, right?
The main evil grasshopper. That's exactly what he reminds me of.
He looks like Hopper.
I don't like him.
No,
I don't like him at all.
Skeletor, Jacob. He's Skeletor.
He is. Yeah, he's definitely Skeletor.
He's Skeletor.
Someone made a point though. He argues with absolutely everybody. He's fallen out with every chairman.
I don't want someone who gets so rattled from a handshake either. He's a little baby, man. I don't want that salamander man. Also, Monsters Inc. He reminds me of that. The evil, it's Steve Buscemi. I think Buscemi was the voice of that character.
Oh, what's his name?
I can't remember his name. Ben, help me, Ben.
All right, it's irrelevant. It's a good analogy, but let's not get distressed. Let's not spend too long talking about it. Adam, do you fancy? I know Brian wants to come in and say something about Tuchel, I think, but just before we do, Adam, are you a Tuchel enthusiast, or is he bottom of your list? Where does he sit on the?
For so many reasons. I'm a storyteller. I'm a poet. I'm a romantic. I'm so many things that involve the narrative space, and there's no greater narrative that could possibly exist than Pochettino coming back to Spurs. And I know that a lot of people are worried that if he comes back, it's going to tarnish his legacy. But I don't think. Look, even if it's a 50-50 chance that he tarnishes his legacy, or he comes back and has the most incredible resurgence and finishes the job that he wanted to do, if it's a 50-50 chance, I'm willing to take it, because there's nobody I want back at the club more than Poch. That is the dream scenario right now. If he was to sign for us within the next 2 weeks, that is the only thing that's going to reunite all the Spurs fans. Because I can't imagine, even the guys who don't think that Pochettino is the man that they want the most, I still think that if he comes in, the Spurs fans will galvanize around him. I don't think there won't be people out there who are completely furious with the idea. I don't believe that. I think the people are either they're so right now, or they're all aboard like I am. And I think that if he came in, we'd all rally around him. I really believe that. And Tuchel, another Chelsea manager, and he's a knob. So
unfortunately, Adam, the Tottenham fan base have a fundamental flaw that we are constantly on the Javianas, as they call them, the flip-flop brigade. We change our opinion every 2 seconds. We're like my family at a Friday night dinner. We're like everyone. It reminds me of my family holiday to Spain in 2003, and we all had to go to a different restaurant because we wouldn't agree on where we would have dinner. That is the Tottenham fan base at the moment. One person wants Pochettino, one person wants Thomas Frank, this person wants this person.
Well, at least with food, Ben,
get me David Pleat back.
Ben, at least with food, you have good options, though.
Christian Gross back. I don't know who that is. Bring back the
I got a ticket. I got a ticket.
I got the ticket. We will never agree on anything.
No, but and that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
We'll never agree on anything.
Subjectively, I
love the man, but not under this ownership.
No, I think Pochettino.
What they did last time.
Was the anti-venom.
No signings for 3 windows.
Pochettino was the anti-venom to the Spursiness back then, and he's going to be the anti-venom if he comes back now.
Adam, he's not. He's not.
I think he will. I think he will.
Adam,
right? Think of the football we played under him.
Adam, so first of all, let me speak Tuchel, and then I'll get on to Poch. Tuchel, not in a month of Sundays. Not in a month of Sundays. The main reason, obviously, is his Chelsea connections, and obviously we've done this 3 times. AVB, Tuchel, AVB, Conte, Jose. All 3 of them, all right, 2 of them were very, very successful. AVB, not so much at Chelsea. But what did they have? Hundreds of millions of pounds to get the exact players they wanted. Mm-hmm. Not quality, not quantity. They got the lot. And the thing with them at Chelsea, it was like, I'm going to give you all the money you want, But if you fuck up, it's on your head, you're gone. And they knew that. It's not going to happen here. And do you know what? With the way that this football club is at the moment, and I'm talking from top to bottom, including the fans, I don't want to see another Chelsea manager come here and be in the same place in another 18 months. Like I said,
do you know what's crazy though, Brian? Do you know what's crazy is that we'll get Tuchel. Conte will go back to Chelsea because Potter's days are numbered as well. Conte will go back to Chelsea, and then we'll have Tuchel, and then it'll just be another scrap, and we'll be arguing in favor of the other man. It's just well,
the thing now, like you said with Poch, listen, I am totally and utterly with Ben with this. I love that man so very, very much, so very, very much. And if tomorrow we woke up and like all these bids going in for Man U, this was Tottenham, and Tottenham had new owners ready next week, I would welcome Poch, and I would be exactly like you, Adam. Exactly. I would love nothing more to have this man come back. He said he's got unfinished business, and I believe he has. Do I believe he could do it with new owners, new backing? I would have a lot more confidence with him there. But he says he's coming back for unfinished business. He's coming back to
how much more money do we need, though, mate?
That threw him under the bus before, and they're older. Even at the Harry Kanes, I just think right now, yes, you're right, Adam, in a way that, yes, a lot of the fan base will be like, we're going to play attractive football, Poch is back. But it's going to end in tears. And the thing is, there will be a second chapter to Mauricio Pochettino's time at Tottenham. But I want it to be a fairy tale.
I tend to agree with you, Brian, that I do want him to come back. I'm just not entirely convinced that it's now, because I don't think I've ever seen Poch play with a back three. Right, and I don't know.
Poch played with a back three. Poch played with a back three in the Champions League. We did.
It wasn't his favourite. It wasn't his go-to
position. The season we signed
do that a lot. But again, with his back three, he had Jan and Toby.
Yeah.
Like, you could play any system in the world.
Any manager that we bring in right now.
Get some good players in the summer, though. Like, if we get Poch in now and in the summer, I am 100% certain we're going to get our two centre backs and goalkeeper. I'm completely certain. I don't know what quality they'll be. I don't know what quality they'll be.
We have to get at least one, whether it's like a Bella Kupchak or whether it's a Bastoni.
Yeah. I don't know what quality they'll be. I just believe we'll get our two centre backs and a goalkeeper. But I'm hoping that at least one of those centre backs will be outstanding. If we get in a Kim Min-jae, or we get in a Gvardiol or a Hincapié or whatever.
Mate, Gvardiol and Bastoni, not in a billion years.
Gvardiol, no chance. Bastoni, if Conte's not here, Bastoni's not either.
Only Bastoni was thinking about it, but that's only if Conte's here, because he loves Conte.
100%.
It could be Kim Min-jae, though. It could be Kim Min-jae.
He got in Kim Min-jae Bastoni next year when he goes back to Inter. He's going to go back there because the Inter fans love him and they want him back now.
Let's say we bring in a Kim Min-jae. If we have Kim Min-jae coming in playing at the left side centre back.
Yeah. Guys, let me just pause for 1 second. Guys, there's 210 people watching, which is awesome. We've only got 75 likes. If you guys can do me a favor and
76.
There must be a bunch of you or there's definitely a bunch of you that haven't hit the like button for me. Just do me a favor, guys. It's free to do it. It helps the channel out. Let me take this opportunity to bring in the wild man downstairs. How you doing, Jacob? How you doing, buddy? You good?
Hey, I'm doing good, buddy. Good to see all so many lovely faces, honestly. I could have just sat there and enjoyed the chat, honestly, because you are a lovely bunch, but I'm honored to be here as well, so
I want to play a little game now. In order to get like everybody involved, I want you to go 1-on-1 versus Nick, Barry, Ranjit.
Oh shit! What's
so
up?
Maybe it's 1-on-3, right?
You Southhand or you regular?
I'm the expert, bro.
He's orthodox.
I want to go 1-on-1 with my buddy.
No. Sean, it's me and Ben that are orthodox.
Brian, don't start this.
Very good. So what I want to do, I want Jacob. I want you to pick a manager that you want in, right? And it can't be Poch, okay? We're going to keep Poch to one side. I want you to pick a manager, and I want you to tell me why. I want you to make the argument. You're on the pro side of this manager, and then Nick, you get to be the con. You have to explain to us why he's not the right guy for the job. All right. And then we're going to reverse it and give you then you get to pick your guy, whoever you want, Nick. And then you get the pro and then Jacob has to be the con. It doesn't have to take a long time, like a minute each on either side. Right. So, and then we're going to do the same with Alex and Ben and Adam and me. Okay, so we're going to do pros and cons.
Hello.
And Brian. Sorry, not me.
Okay,
Sorry, I mean Brian. Sorry, yeah. You're involved. You're always involved, Brian. No, you're involved. Jacob, so pick a manager that you want, because I would have done it on the spin the wheel thing, but the idea has just literally come to my head. But you know what? For the next show, I'm going to
live TV, people, live TV.
So pick a manager of whoever you want, and then tell us why you think he'd be the right fit.
I'm going to say Ryan Mason. And the reason why this man is the right fit for Tottenham Hotspur is A, he's here. B, he just got his UEFA license, so we won't have to pay for him. Reason number 3 as well is, Levy wants a man who'll say yes, sir, no, sir, and will, only come to him with extreme requests. He's not going to be like Jose. He's not going to be like Conte. I'm also going to say the reason why Ryan Mason is this is my main reason why I think he should just be appointed.
Sorry, I just want to say something. Get Fred, mate. This may make you a little bit happier. Get French football news, which I believe isn't a blue play tax.
Breaking news.
Paul Mitchell.
Wait! Don't say it. Wait! I've got to use it for the first time. Where is it? Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so Paul Mitchell has confirmed he's leaving Monaco.
Get him in.
Oh shit!
Get him in.
That's interesting. Why now? Is there any details? Any data on the?
Literally, Ben from We Are Tottenham TV. He's literally just sent it to me. Let me see if I can get it where you can. Can you see?
Hang on, I might be able to get my WhatsApp on here up. Is he put it on WhatsApp?
Actually, let me send it to you, Sean. Let me send it to you.
Wow.
Anyway, I was going to choose Ryan Mason as well, so that fucking puts me out.
Sure, I've just sent it to you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. Jacob, get back to it, and I'm going to get this story up, and then.
The main overlying factor why I say Ryan Mason in is because you want a serial winner. That hasn't worked. You want a serial trophy winner. That hasn't worked. You want a guy who can work with the youth. Well, that didn't work because when we had good times, we had good vibes FC. But at the end of the day, if you determine success based off of trophies, then I would say that we were unsuccessful in that matter. And he did not get us over the line. He got us to the dance, but we did not take the woman home. And to me, it's great saying, hey, I was at the club, but like if you ain't got nothing to show for it, then to me, it's a very unsuccessful evening. And I think that Poch had that as well. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't be undown to a Pochettino reunion. I just think at this moment, he's going to face the same problems that we faced when he cried his way out of here. So to me, I would lose a lot of respect for the man if he came back right now or in the summer, because that's just not a good look. And I don't want to delve too much into that. But Ryan Mason, he's here right now. You don't have to. You just change his office, and it's a very easy switch. Who cares I don't care what happens the last 10 games personally, because if we make top 4, if we don't make top 4, it doesn't really change how I feel. If we get Ryan Mason or we get
it's important though,
Jesus Christ himself ascends from the heavens and he's like, I'll manage this club, I still don't think he's going to get us over the line. I just don't see it. I just don't see us getting over the line.
Jesus.
Maybe with Jesus.
I promise you, it's Jesus.
All right. Okay.
I might do it with Jesus.
What about
we're gonna finish the game. Barry, why is Ryan Mason the wrong guy for the job?
Well, he was the one I was going to fucking choose. So how could I say that he's the wrong guy? Because I've got no one else.
What?
Sorry.
What's that?
Yaya Toure? Maybe Yaya Toure? He's here. He's been working with the kids.
I'm not talking about manager to the end of the season. I'm talking about manager for the future.
Oh, manager for the future?
No, like the big deal. I'm not talking about like the guy that
now you're flip-flopping.
No.
Now you're saying manager.
Now
you're saying 10 games. I'm not. Oh, no,
did I say 10 games?
I'm with box office now. You're talking waffle when you put yourself in the mud. And if
Did
you don't
I say
know,
10
you
games?
to know.
Did I say 10 games? I was clearly referencing who do you want the next manager to be, and I don't mean a caretaker.
I do believe the only one who said 10 games was me. I was the only one who said that.
Yeah, I'm not getting called out on this bullshit. It's nonsense. Let me press pause on the game for a minute. I'll come to you in a second, mate. Let's get this bad boy up.
Really good speech.
Well, we'll do that in a second. But let me just bring up this. So we got the story here from Get Football. Paul Mitchell has confirmed that he will leave his role as sporting director of AS Monaco, telling Nice Matin that he has completed his mission. L'Equipe first revealed that Mitchell was set to leave the Principality club, specifying that he would leave at the end of the summer transfer window, whilst English sporting director didn't give a date for his departure. He will indeed leave after having found his successor and having guided them through the first steps of their first steps at the club. Mitchell's next position is currently unclear, although sources contacted at Get French Football News revealed that the former Wigan Athletic player has spoken to Liverpool.
Liverpool and Manchester United have been talking with him for the last few days, apparently. So
he's going to Liverpool.
So, do you know what? One thing I did say, and Ben and Nick will know because I've said this on a few occasions. I said, you know what? If Poch was coming back, and if I was Poch, one of the things I would say is, right, to show me that you mean business this time and that you're not going to mess me about, I want you to say a public apology to Paul Mitchell, which he would hate doing. Hate. That's what if I was Poch, I'd be like, I'm going to call you a bluff. Send out a public apology to him, because I know you'd hate it. And if you made that step, I would have a lot more assurances that you're going to commit to me because you've done something you hated. So, listen, it looks like Man U or Liverpool, but listen, everything's starting to line. Whether it happens or not, I don't think it will.
You got to love the timing, though, Brian.
If it did happen,
the timing is sexy.
No, what I would say is to Adam, like I was just saying before, I wouldn't want him anywhere near this club.
The main event needs to speak.
If he was about to walk back into this club with Paul Mitchell,
change
then
everything.
you're talking something different. Then I would, even me, this is me talking, I would say if Paul Mitchell walked back into that club, I'd have a lot more faith. I'd still be going.
Wait. Would you still be doing the 6-pack?
Oh, 1 billion, but mate, that won't. Mate, I told you, mate, we could win the league 3 years in a row, and I'd still be doing that. That's not. But this would be if he hires Poch. If you look at it, if Poch comes back now, let's just on the assumption. Poch comes back now without Paul Mitchell. I'm like, right, here we go, 18 months. Like I was just saying to Adam, I said to Adam, if he comes back, it's gonna not be. It's good. I want it to be the fairy tale. Come back without Paul Mitchell. I don't think it would be a fairy tale. I think it would be a nightmare. If he came back with Paul Mitchell, I would open the book and start reading Once Upon a Time.
So we're getting the band back together.
A little bit more confidence that
Nico Cranshaw.
That would be for me. But listen, I like I said before, and Sean, you'll know this. When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong, and I will say certain things like that's a good whatever. Paul Mitchell walks back into this football club. Then, like Adam was saying about how this club will feel, I think there'd be a lot more people like Adam feeling like how
What
Adam.
What did he do at Monaco though? Did Monaco do any? Did he do anything for Monaco? What did they get? They didn't win anything, did they? They hadn't done anything.
The main event needs to speak.
It's a bit hard to compete with PSG, isn't it?
I know. Once before you do, Alex, I'll come.
They got some good scouts.
I'll bring
over
you
there
in
in
right
Monaco.
now. Let me just get through to a super chat from Savatastic. Thank you so much, Sava, from the Football Heritage. And if you haven't already, I'm sure you have, Sava's channel's changed their branding to the Football Heritage. He's moving to a broader audience, and get yourself over there and smash the subscribe. He says, could you have at least got one good-looking panel member? I know, for me personally, as the host, Jacob. I'm fine. As panel members, yeah, we got Jacob, I guess. Yeah.
I would like to think we're all equally good looking in my eyes.
I know I wasn't available, but you're scraping the barrel with this lot. No, come on, Sava. They're all excellent. They're all sexy in their own right. Mate, thank you very much for the super chat, man. You don't never need to do that, buddy. But
only these need to be sexy.
Very jealous. If you want to come on, when you got the link, mate. The link's in the WhatsApp group. If you want to come on and have your say on what we're talking about. But big up to you, my man, and get everyone over to the Football Heritage, please. If you haven't already subscribed. Alex, you wanted to say something?
Here we go.
I wasn't getting excited about Paul Mitchell because the fact is, when you hear Liverpool, Manchester United, why would Paul Mitchell want to come to Tottenham?
Because he likes the challenge.
Man U are about to get taken over, and if it's
absolutely, why would he want to come to Tottenham? I'm like Sava. Why would he want to come to Tottenham when he's already felt he's already been let down already?
You know why, Alex? Because people like Danny Kiriakou, who are generally like, with the most respect, Danny, the most negative flip-flops are in the Captain Javiana team. Even he's getting He Captain Caps Lock is excited. Look at him. We're fucking cooking, he's saying. So that's
I
the
love
reason
Caps
why you
Lock.
bring back Paul
But
Mitchell.
again,
That's the reason you come back, because you turn the tide with people like Danny Kiriakou.
Yeah, but it's
I see
again,
Kiriakou,
it's no point. There's no point.
Kiriakou.
There's no point of going on about it though, because the fact is, I mean, I was sitting there thinking, oh, it's interesting. He's leaving, but at the same time, why would he want to come to Tottenham? You know what I mean? Because he's got burnt already. And again, I don't think Tottenham have the know-how to actually do that sort of business. You know what I mean? Because they're still got Paratici on the books, who's supposedly cooking still. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he cooking something.
Cooking what?
Yeah, he cooking something.
Cooking Dan Juma. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I'm done with him. I'm done with this thing. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Hey, let him
I'm
cook,
sorry.
Alex. He just needs time to get confidence.
Liverpool. We laugh at Liverpool.
Who laughs at Liverpool? I don't laugh at Liverpool.
Tottenham fans laugh at Liverpool this season.
Absolutely
not.
Laugh at Liverpool this season. Yeah. I tell you now, I would take their seasons all day long. I'll take all those seasons that they had previously, last couple of years, all day long.
Alex, that's not some sort of like drop the mic notification.
Yeah.
That's like saying,
well, no, because you don't want to hear it, bro.
Take any one of Leonardo DiCaprio's
you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it, bro. They've got cups running in their trophy cabinet like it's no tomorrow.
Yes,
bro.
I know.
No tomorrow. Yeah, they're going down to the shop and they're celebrating because they've got trophies to their name, bruv, every single time.
But we all agree with
play
you.
football, and they've got players that they shit on most of our players, bruv. Yeah, and most of them are young players, bruv. They're teaching us how to train young players and put them in our team, bruv. Yeah. I'm sorry, bro.
I know. So
Mr. Box Office is unleashing, bruv, in your show, bruv, and you need to take the note of that, bruv, and that's it. And that's all I need to say, bruv.
You're not
and
saying
that's all I need to say.
You're
And
just
give it back to
waffling,
you,
bruv.
Sean, to say something stupid again. I'm done.
Just waffling, Alex.
Shorty.
He's waited patiently for 45 minutes to say something which is the most obvious thing ever. I would swap Tottenham's recent history for Liverpool's. Well done, Alex. Well done for dropping some truth bombs and the professor of entertainment.
I'd take Man City's as well, Sean, if I'm honest.
Big up Perch.
Rather than Tottenham's history, for fuck's sake, in the last 10 years.
We've got Carl Patrick Vineyard in the house. He's saying, big up, guys. Hope you're having a great evening. Big up, KPV.
Nick, we can finally see him.
I think he unblocked me. I think he unblocked me so I can see his comments finally.
Oh, you can StreamYard, Jacob. You can see him on StreamYard because I can see him on StreamYard, but I can't see him on YouTube still.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can see him on YouTube because I'm a mod on Sean's channel.
Everybody?
He blocked. Yeah.
I'm not a mod on Sean's channel.
Why has he blocked everyone?
Sean, he's blocked more people than Sava. That's going, son, isn't it?
What's going on? Is KPV okay? Is he upset? I don't know. What's happened?
Oh,
Hey,
hang
you just
on.
said shut up, Barry. Shut up, Barry.
He's copying Danny Kiriakou now, old KPV, with the old Captain Caps Locks. He's got his little. He's like the Pied Piper of flip flops. Danny's getting them all along. Captain Caps Locks.
I hope you're okay, KPV. Don't
big up KPV.
If you need
one day we will get to the bottom of the blocking, KPV.
Yes, why unblock us?
Massive super chat from this is Iggy. This is
Ellie.
You got a different name going on. What's going on there? Is that your actual name? Is that your passport name?
Her maiden name, I believe.
It's a beautiful name. Thank you so much for the monster. It's so nice. She says, I'm out doing that £10 inaccurate rubbish super chat dissing my handsome men.
Yeah.
You're all better than good looking. You're all beauty and brains. Supporting you, Sean, and the football heritage, Saba. Get on if you think it needs beautifying then. 100%. Ellie, thank you so much. You're very generous. Big up to you. Love you. You're always welcome on here as well, as you know. That's a very, very generous super chat. All right, so if not, let's put the Paul Mitchell thing to one side because apparently it's been shot down within.
Yeah, reverse the breaking news.
The Hindenburg disaster. Look at this thing flying through the sky. Bang! Oh no! That's not good. That's basically what happened there. All right, so we'll get back to the managers. So,
so before you do that, I'm going to make plans. I need to get to bed. Got to get up early for work. So always a pleasure to come on. All I will say, I'll just say two things. Manager, I do want.
Yeah, go on.
Thomas Frake have said.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people very quickly. I have this one thing about Vincent Kompany. Now,
Yeah.
I think Vincent Kompany is going to be a fantastic football manager. And I actually have a couple of people that know him very, very well, that are friends of friends. And apparently he's the most incredible guy as well. You can see it when he's on TV. And I think he's going to be an
And he's a
incredible
winner,
football
right?
manager.
He's a winner
I
as
think
well.
he's an incredible guy. Someone was telling me a story that in one of his last years at Manchester City whilst during COVID, he said to the entire medical staff that had been looking after him when he left Manchester City, he paid for the entire medical team and all of their families to go anywhere in the world they wanted on holiday for the summer holidays. Paid flights, hotels, just like the whole, which obviously is a lovely gesture. But the only problem I have with Kompany,
my hands are hurting.
I know. Don't let me.
cramping.
If you hadn't interrupted me, I'll be finished. The only thing I will say about Kompany is the second Pep goes, bye bye. That's the only reason I wouldn't have Kompany, because I think once Man City come calling, he's gone. But Sean, Alex, Adam, Jacob, Barry, Sean, Nick, Phil, I've got to go. And
as always,
Levy.
Bye-bye.
None below for you, bro. None below for you.
I guess I was cramping up there.
My hands are hurting after all that.
Awesome work, Mr. Daigle. Thank you for coming on, my man. Great to have him back. All right, let's get back to the conversation. So we've gone through Thomas Tuchel and the overall odds. Let's do it this way. Let's do it like what Bob Spur does. Thomas Tuchel, up for yes, down for no.
Can I put my foot down as well?
Everyone's a no. Okay, everyone's a no. All right, let's move on. Who else do we have? Let's do Poch right now, but just so we'll get him out of the way. Poch. What's that one? Oh, that's even Stevens.
Alex, what a flip-flop. You said you don't want Poch, and now you're saying you do want Poch.
Yeah, fucking
massive flip-flop.
Flip-flop off.
Fucking hell.
You
are the biggest flip-flop.
Get your flip-flop out. Where's that flip-flop of yours, Nick? Get it out and put it on the screen. Show us the flip-flop.
Flip-flop. Order!
Adam, you're making me hungry.
What is that? What are you saying?
It's waffles. Oh my gosh.
Waffles.
Belgian waffles was filled with every little crevice was filled with syrup too. That was
Again,
beautiful.
the professor of truth and entertainment speaks the truth every single time. I'm sorry, Barry. I know you want your clout from Mr. Box Office. You ain't getting it, bruv. You know what I mean? You're still walking. You're still digging a hole for yourself. It's that big and that's it, bruv. You know what I mean? On myself, all I will say is, all I'm saying is, I'm sorry to pause the proceedings, Sean, but unfortunately, Mr. Box Office needs to come to his own, and that's it. With Poch, I said already, with conditions, okay, with conditions for the fact that we need to get back to playing good football. He knows how to deal with Levy as well. Okay, he'll have to tell him. If he says to Levy, he needs to get rid of Dyer, get rid of all those players, right? And maybe even have to get rid of Kane as well. And Levy rejects it. Don't come to Tottenham. Do not come to Tottenham. Yeah, because you're just gonna look like a mug, and that's it. You know what I mean? If Levy tells him that he needs to keep Dyer at Tottenham, yeah, Virgil van Dyer at Tottenham. He can tell him to fuck off, and that's it. And that's all I need to say. And that's it. I'm done.
I don't think I've ever heard you swear before.
And that's it. I'm done. And that's it. Back to Sean to talk some waffle. Back to Barry to dig himself in the mud. Back to everyone else. I'm the professor of truth and entertainment, the king of flip-flops.
Well, listen. After Ellie's calling out Mr. Sava for his inaccurate, ludicrous super chat, which was incredibly generous. I feel a little embarrassed now because this is now just a fighting match between.
It's a great fight to be a part of.
And Saba, I feel like I'm going to have to give this money to charity because it's not about the content at all. And Saba's come in to say, yeah, get over it, Ellie. I'm back in charge. Whatever, Ellie, mate. Sab, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to put that money to charity because it's not about the content. But I really appreciate that as well. Big up to you. Big up to Ellie. Big up to you before. Big up to KPV. That's just madness, but like I say, it's going to go to a good home. So thank you so much, my man. Thank you so much. Very cool of you. All right, I'm going to skip past a few of these comments so I can get back. Hang on a second. I've just skipped past and I've seen this one. Biggest flip flops in order. Number 1 is Sean. Number 2 is Barry. Number 3 is Alex. It's outrageous. It's just slander, mate. It's absolute slander. Back to you, Barry, for more slander.
Yeah. Well, Sean, actually, I would say number 1, Danny. Number 2, Alex. And then maybe Sean 3, yeah? And me 4.
No, I'm not a flip-flop. I stay incredibly consistent. I've just got an open mind, mate. I'm what's called flexibility of thought. And if you don't know, get to flexible thought.
What you're saying is you're a slider.
So I didn't even want to interrupt, but then Sean, you telling me that you're not a flip-flop?
No, I'm saying
What was it about Emerson, bruv? What was it about Emerson, bruv? And what was it about Dyer? You were saying on Savage stream, saying, "Oh, you need to respect Dyer. Oh my gosh, you need to respect Dyer."
I didn't say that.
Agenda against Dyer and Davis. I can't stand it anymore.
I didn't say that either.
I absolutely can't stand it. Oh, these Tottenham fans have got we've got such an agenda against Dyer and Davis, haven't we?
There's no receipts.
Really?
There's absolutely
Really,
zero
Bob?
receipts. Absolute zero receipts. You're talking nonsense, mate.
No, I'm not talking
What are you
nonsense.
drinking?
You said the same thing on We Are Tottenham TV as well, bro. Do you want to get the tapes? Do you want to get the tapes?
Yes,
Do you
we
want
want the receipts.
Yes, yes, do you? Do
Show me
you?
the
Yes,
receipts.
yes.
Alex has been drinking coffee at 10 o'clock at night.
Mr.
No, it's not. It's not
Completely
Tonight Coffee Company
Mr.
coffee.
Pay-per-view.
That's not
tonight.
coffee.
Big up Irish Hotspur.
Big up, Dave. Let me know, Dave, if you want to join, mate, or anyone else to join, you can come on. But because I see Mr. Bob Spur in the house. What's happening, Bobby? Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. I'm going to steal your little game here because we got to get through this these managers, and I want everybody. I've skipped forward. Sorry for all the comments that I haven't pulled up, but I want to get back to real time so I can get everybody else's opinion. So we've gone through. We had Thomas Tuchel when everybody put their thumbs down, and then we had Pochettino, and it was a 50-50 split. And the reason why it was 50-50 split is because Mr. Flip-Flop Office himself, who said he doesn't want Poch back, suddenly puts his thumbs up like the fraud that he is. Can't even remember his own opinion from 5 minutes earlier.
Wait. I said it on my channel again, Mr. Box Office TV, bruv. So I said it on my channel. It's there already, imprinted already, bro. So
With
no
a new
flip-flop
logo.
here, bro. That's all I need to say, bruv. Back to you again to say something.
People are going to
again.
search
Here
Mr.
we go,
Box
done.
Office TV and find
Yeah,
it.
You've got the logo, Shawnee.
Sean, bring up
even got a
Danny's comment.
logo.
10:27.
It wasn't a 50-50 split anyway. I had every single finger on my hand up.
Danny, here we go. You would say that, wouldn't you, Barry? Exactly what flip-flop say. Sean is the biggest flip-flop, or whatever. Sean likes to label it as open-mindedness. Yeah, flexibility of thought.
Flexibility of thought. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Now back to my boy Sean. That's all I have to say. And back to you. 100%. Listen, I'm going to call out this man here. Where is he? I just saw him a minute ago. It was a good one, and he was coming after me. Bump of K. A bump of ketamine, I guess. He says, I think the wildest thing Sean said was in the summer, Longley just needs a hug. I did say that. I thought he did. And to be honest, I was wildly wrong about Longley.
Maybe he just hasn't got his hug yet.
Maybe not. Yeah, Conte ain't giving hugs out for free.
No.
Conte ain't giving no hugs
needs
out
to
for
get his
free.
arms around him. See what happens.
Joe Roden got a pretty good one at Leicester City away last year. Just gonna throw
What
that
we
out there.
need, Shawnee, we need is a man with integrity, a man with skill. We need this man. We need David Plea.
Is he still alive?
We're going to hug you.
His face looks like sandpaper.
That's what we need. Big up, David Plea.
Big up, Mr. Plea.
Bro, he looks like a potato that I left under my bed too long.
Terrible football players in Dele Alli. It was all right for 5 minutes. We need this man. We need that man back.
He looks like he likes a bottle of red wine, old David Pleat, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's got the Alex Ferguson nose. He's got the spots. Yeah, for sure. I'll be there.
I've got a very good director of football for him. I've got a great director of football. This man, bring him. David Pleat with Christian Gross as director. Of football.
Is that Christian Gross? Jeez, he looks
That's
like a
what we
baddie
need.
from a Bond movie.
We need David Pleat and Christian Gross.
I need your thumbs out. I need your thumbs out, guys. I need your thumbs out. We're going to go for Mr. Enrique.
Alex is a flip-flop.
Alex, flip-flop. Make a fucking
Alex,
make a move.
don't be on the fence. Adam, don't be on the fence like Alex.
No fence sitting, Adam. You know the rules.
Up or down, mate. Yes, sir. Alex looks like he's chasing Ali Gold again up the high road. Ali, Alistair, come here, mate.
I know. No, don't drop your chicken, Alex. Don't
No, I
drop
was
your
just
chicken.
a don. I was just a don,
Chips
like
flying.
I always am, bruv. That's all they need to say, bruv. Again, you know what I mean? I'm just unsure. I'm unsure, bruv.
Alex, you
That's
move
it.
like a
That's all they
king.
need to say, bro.
You don't gotta explain how you move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When you make
exactly,
moves
bro.
like a king, you don't have to make explanations.
100%, mate. Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about
It's-
that. Back to you, Sean.
It's something. It's another instance with Luis Enrique. He's the wrong employee for the wrong club because he's going to want to spend 500 million on the team.
But
And he's
Spain
not gonna
national
get
team,
it.
they're so young, Ben.
Well, but
Spain
He
national
did
team.
nothing at Roma, right? He did nothing
Did
at
nothing
Roma.
at Roma.
He plays tiki-taka
brilliantly with an unbelievable Barcelona team. His Spain team played some great football, but
Yeah.
you need quality, and he's
Yeah, we
not
haven't
gonna
got it.
get quality.
Wrong guy. Maybe
the
in the
wrong
future, but
guy.
right now, yeah.
Guys,
you
we've
need
already
is
seen. We've
David
already seen.
Pleat. David Pleat was getting results with Anthony Gardner and Gary Doherty. That's
didn't
who
have
you
to spend
need in
money
charge.
on massive
You had
names
Stephen
like what Conte
Carr at
wanted.
right back and Mauricio Tarrico at left back. That's the man you need to manage.
Antonio
your
Conte
team.
and Jose Mourinho were both managers brought in that needed exceptional players to come in and play for them. They needed money. They needed to be given money. We know that Pochettino never did. Pochettino raised up Harry Kane. Pochettino raised up Dele Alli. He brought in players that people had never heard of before and turned them into absolute exceptional legends like Christian Eriksen. There's absolutely no reason why he can't do that again. If we didn't get... he's the one manager that if he came in, I don't think we need a Guardiola or a Bastoni. He could get a Kim Min-jae or he could get an Nkapia or Ndika, and he would turn that player into someone who's infinitely better than the best centre backs that are out there, because that's what we've seen him do before. So I don't understand I don't understand how anyone cannot see that Pochettino is the man to do it, because he's done it before.
He's not as good as David
We need a
Pleat.
head coach, Adam. I think you're absolutely spot on. You're absolutely spot on, because I think he did a lot with the team. I think people say that we have prime this, prime that, prime this. Walker and Rose were just mediocre. Literally mediocre before Poch came in. You know what I mean? Before
He can spin.
Walker was really
Absolutely,
Walker was good at Villa on loan. He was really good at Villa on loan.
Yeah, he was good, but he wasn't as good as what he was with Poch. He was never that good. You know what I mean? I thought he was mediocre. You know what I mean? The season before, I think it was the season with Sherwood. He was absolutely awful, absolutely awful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't stand him. You know what I mean? Even Rose sometimes as well. He started well and he didn't do well as well. I think Poch got a lot out of that team. And as I said before, I didn't want him when he came in. I wanted what is it, De Boer. I wanted De Boer. So that's how much I didn't rate him when he started. You know what I mean?
Frank de Boer.
Frank de Boer, yeah. So that's the point. Look how that worked out for Crystal Palace. You know what I mean?
Worst manager of all time. 3 games, 3 losses, no goals scored.
Exactly. So
No,
Ryan Mason has got 1 point in his 7 games in charge. He has 1.71 points per match. That is better than Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea.
Well, I mean, let's be
Sample
honest here.
size, maybe,
Who were the
but,
games? Who were the games, Sean? Who were the games?
Don't about details, mate.
Yeah, but let's just clutching at straws again.
Wycombe Wanderers, Luton Town, and
clutching
someone
at
else.
straws again. You're clutching at straws again, Sean. I've got to give it to Adam. I'm actually agreeing with most of this stream, to be fair. You know what I mean? He's saying mostly what I'm saying, to be fair. You know what I mean?
I agree with him because he's saying most of what I'm saying.
Well, I'll give it to him. Listen, I'm giving more
Adam,
credit to David Harris. I give credit to
You need to change your tune.
Look, no, don't change my tune. I know when I'm talking sense. You know what I mean? I give credit to people like David Harris because he talks sense. I give credit to Sava sometimes when he talks sense as well. You know what I mean? Because mostly he does talk sense in the name.
What about me? What about me, Alex?
Adam's talking more sense as well.
Do I ever get any credit from you?
Well, sometimes, especially, but you still kept on going on about Diane Davis, which I'm still find that.
I didn't know.
You're only half Irish, Sean.
Jacob makes bomb ass pancakes, and there is proof that he makes bomb ass pancakes, and you need to let him know. No one 100%. Makes better. He doesn't flip flop, Jacob. He just flips.
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth.
No, Ben. He flips, and then later on, He flops.
Pancakes don't flop.
Flops
They
it out.
flop, mate.
Flops
Yeah,
it out.
just yeah. What I do want to say is, while we're all trying to get props from Alex, I don't think I've ever heard Alex refer to me ever. So, Alex, next time I'm gonna need you to like refer to me at some point.
Yeah, Alex, do you have a take on Jacob's takes?
He's gonna be like,
What?
no, I don't even listen to that guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I met that guy before.
No. Big up, Sean. Your show, your Spurs of America show is really good. I've been on your show, so it's
Big
really
up,
good.
Sean. Your Spurs of America show is really good. First of all,
Jacob,
Alex,
big up,
his name is
Jacob.
Second
Big up,
of all,
Jacob.
it's United Spurs of America. If you
United
don't
Spurs
know,
of America.
get to know.
United
Thank you,
Spurs.
Sean.
Big up, Jacob. Big up, Jacob. I watch your show, Bob. It's good, bro. You know what I
I
mean?
watch your show, but I don't know what it's called, Sean. Sean, thanks for your Spurs of
Thank
America.
you, Alex.
Show.
Thank
We
you.
love it, yeah.
All right, let's get back to this. Okay, so we got. Oh, wait a minute. I had a super chat. Sorry, I did have a super chat. I need to get back to. It was Ellie trying to come back at Saba saying, "Whatever, Saba." It's Queen Ellie Hoiberg to you.
I raise you, Sava. We are 2198.
This is the Greek. This is the Greeks competing with each other. It's like the Trojan War all over again. I love it. Big up, Ellie. Love you, Queen Ellie. Love you, Sava. You're both wonderful parts of the show, and I very much appreciate your infighting this evening. But like I say, the money will go to. I'll send it over to Sava for the British Heart Foundation or something. All right, let's get the thumbs back out again, guys. And I want everyone in the comments also to give me a thumb one way or the other. Next manager is De Zerbi from Brighton. You can't go 50. You can't go 50-50. Everyone's got to make a call. So we're going 3. No, come on, Jacob. 50-50 again. There's nobody's got the majority, not even Poch.
The only reason why I say De Zerbi is no is because we ain't done no research on him ourselves.
Yeah, but Brighton do. But Brighton have, and Brighton are very good with their research.
He's a good coach.
Brighton were seamless
I
with their
don't want to bring
managerial
him in
players.
because he's doing well at Brighton.
Alex, you're flip-flopping again. Hang on a minute. Earlier, Brighton know what they're doing.
No. Sorry.
That's exactly right.
Barry,
exactly right, Bazza.
Barry. I don't know what you're talking about. Again, you're trying to get on my Mr. Box Office time again. So again, I know you need your clout, but unfortunately, you don't get no clout from Mr. Box Office anyway. Like I said, you know what I mean. So let's get back to the whole subject of what I'm talking about. My point is, okay, he's a good. He's done well. He's done very well at the moment, but I don't know if he's going to do well at our club because I don't think they're only going on what's going on at Brighton. Look at what Brighton are doing at the moment. Absolutely brilliant professional club. Yeah. If he comes to Tottenham, we ain't got that setup. We ain't got that setup that Brighton have got. You see what I'm saying? So they're not prepared for the guy to do his work and actually help him out. And that's it. So if we do want him, we need to have a conversation with him, how it's going to work, how he's going to have the tools that he has at Brighton, and that's it. Because for me, there's no point of getting him in and then do it the way that we're doing it. Because if it's doing it the way we're doing it, he's only going to fail, and that's it. And that's it. That's why I'm
very
saying.
Mixed one. So I actually agree with what you're saying, Alex. Believe it or not, on De Zerbi, it's very mixed. There was three versus 3 in the panel, and the comments are 1 down for Wolvesy. Reno saying no. Adam saying De Zerbi's the hipster's choice. I like that phrase. Alpesh Patel. Alpesh is I think he's put thumbs up to most of the names so far. Stuart saying no. Sean, son of Mick, is saying no. Wandingo's yes. Saba's saying yes. Phil Panavi. Hello, what's happening, Phil? Good to see you. He's saying yes. Nick saying no. Carl is yes. Grant is saying De Zerbi's at 6 months with Potter's team. So I'm not sure if that's a yes or a no or just a stat.
Yeah, can I just come back at Sava? I hear what he's saying, Sava, but Sava, have we? If we were doing our research on De Zerbi, if we did our research on De Zerbi, why have we not got for him in the first place?
Yeah, because we're not good at that shit.
Exactly. So
we're not
exactly.
So Brighton are very good at that stuff. So we just go and steal them with our bigger pockets.
Exactly. So that's the point.
The entire Brighton recruitment team is is headed by a Tottenham fan.
Brighton is basically just a middleman for
He
Tottenham.
went and built another football club. That's how fed up he was on Tottenham. So that Brighton are good. So get the entirety of the Brighton staff, who are all Tottenham fans, because Brighton as well.
Toxic saying no.
Get them all.
Scott saying yes. Grant saying no. Materio saying no.
Saba, just come on
Davo
the
saying
stream, bro. Come on the
groovy.
stream.
Yes, Saba, you got the link if you want to come on, mate. What?
Come on, own box office.
What? Okay, so next up, so we haven't got any. I think that's a 50-50. I'm not sure there's any real direction there from anybody.
I like
so
it,
we
Davo.
said that we've done Deserbi, we've done Pochettino,
so we can just be 100% on Poch. Come on.
We've done Poch.
No,
Poch was split. Deserbi's
Yeah, but
been split.
someone needs to change their mind on Poch and go full Poch.
Well, hang
Yeah,
on,
Alex
let's get Enrique was a
He
no
been,
from everybody. Basically, everyone said no to Enrique. I think I said yes, but no. So I said someone said yes, but Enrique was a no generally.
Did we do Amorim?
No, we haven't done Amorim. Okay, yeah. So Sporting Guy, Ruben Amorim. I don't mind it.
He's a good coach, but he won't be given the players he needs.
You got to make a decision,
Pleat.
Alex. No.
David Pleat.
No, Ben. What are you saying?
David Pleat.
No, but
No
what's about
need.
Amorim, mate?
He's
Come
a
on.
good manager, but he won't be backed. David Pleat.
David Pleat won't be back either. And David Pleat's 92 years old next week.
He's not. He's 78. And that age comes wisdom, Shawnee.
All right, Ruben Amorim, everyone in the chat. I think it was about 3. I think it was against 3-all.
It was 4-2. It was 4-2 against.
4-2 against in the panel. Ruben Amorim, guys. We got Phil P saying yes. We got Toxic saying yes. We got Lucas saying yes. One Dingo saying yes. Grant is giving him a score. Don't know whether that's a good or bad. Marcus is saying it's not a bad score though. I'll take that. Marcus is saying no. Wolves is saying no. Alpash is saying no. Carl Simpson. No, he started off with all the positives. Now the no's are coming through. Sava's saying yes. Scott's saying yes. Again,
But not more than Poch.
There's not really a clear answer here. Who else have we got lined up? Who else is
Adam,
who else?
have you got a blow up doll of Poch in behind you?
I don't, but if you have one, send them my way.
No.
Okay, we've done Tuchel, yeah. We've done Luis Enrique. We've done Pochettino. We've done Amorim. Did we do Postecoglou? We didn't. That's another
the Celtic manager. Yeah, absolutely not. No chance.
Okay, let's sort that one out.
All right, so Celtic guy, just everyone give it a thumbs down. Surely we're not going for him, are we?
We've done De Zerbi. We've done Thomas Frank. What about Glasner?
Yeah, Glasner. I don't even know who this fucking guy is. Who's he managed? Someone in Germany, right?
Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Frankfurt are a very decent team. He won't be given the players he needs.
David Pleat.
There is no point, whoever the coach is. There is
All right.
no
Ben, you are full on David Pleat in as much
David
as
Pleat
Adam's
in.
full on Poch in.
Right, but he's 78 years old. That's like Joe Biden coming in.
With age
taking
comes
over.
experience, Shawnee.
It's the year 2042. Roy Hodgson is 102 years old and is back at Palace.
you know that, that picture knocking around when they score a goal and when they win a game, and he's like marching out, and one of his like sidekicks is jumping through the air.
Frame.
It's brilliant. You can imagine it in 20 years' time in a fucking wheelchair, like, come on! He's getting
I love. You know what? I will give it. You know what? I do like. I think. I can see why we want to go for Ruben Amorim. I mean, okay, but what would their focus be on? You know what I mean? Would they allow him to do the work that he's doing at the same sort of work that he's doing at Sporting? You know what I mean? Because for me, a young man like that,
bring back Marcus Edwards.
Yeah, exactly. And also, you know, there needs to be a conversation about what is the goal, what's the objective after this. You know what I mean? You know,
Alex, let me ask you before we go on to that one, because I think Amorim does deserve a conversation. Just out of curiosity,
so does Harry Redknapp.
Had Conte not said what he said, had this conversation that's been happening since the Southampton game, and I want everyone in the comments to do the same thing, right? If I was to say, so we've gone through De Zerbi, we've gone through all that stuff, Conte to continue had he not said what he'd said. Right? Imagine that whole thing never happened. Imagine we won the game 3-2. Would you be would you be Conte in still or Conte out?
No, Conte should have gone. Should have walked.
Conte out.
Conte should have walked.
I wish he did walk. I wish he walked.
Listen, Sean. Listen, I'm not backing Conte. Conte should never been here in the first place.
Jacob literally does have the doll.
The whole point I was making is, yeah, okay, is that you know, when he was moaning, I didn't like the whole thing what he was doing. But the point is that we should never have bought him in the first place. But I didn't back him when he kept on moaning about certain stuff, and when he got players in that were not his players. And I said to myself, well, if he didn't get the backing that he wanted, all you need to do is just walk. You know what I mean? All you need to do was just walk. You know, after the January window, you could have just walked.
Well,
you know, after the summer, you could have just walked.
Yeah, I agree.
I've got a rebuttal for Sava's comment at 10:44. These managers with lower budgets, it's that Malcolm in the Middle meme. I ask for nothing, and you still disappoint me. It's Malcolm in the Middle. That is what happens.
Yeah. My expectations are here.
It's that
and you
low.
Still deliver down
here.
Yeah,
that is what Tottenham do.
All right, but listen, we've gone through all of the candidates, most of the candidates. I can't think of too many others. The only other one I can think of is Will Still, the fella from Reims, who's 30, who's got like an 18-game unbeaten run for Reims. And yet he hasn't even got a UEFA coaching badge. So Reims have to pay a €22,000 fine for every game that he manages because it's not allowed to manage a game when you don't have the coaching license.
He learned everything off Football Manager. So
he's not going to be the guy. So I'm asking everyone in the comments. There's 250 people that are here still, which is awesome. Please, guys, hit the like button for me. Let me just quickly check. What are we on? We're on about 160 likes. Can we try and get it up to 200? I don't know if there's anyone that hasn't hit the like button yet. Do me a favor. It'd be awesome to get up to 200. I'd really appreciate it. But as of right now, I can think that, generally speaking, the closest we came to an agreement was either Ruben Amorim or Pochettino.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? Would you agree with that, guys?
I voted no on every single candidate.
I should have put my. I'm still unsure about Company. I'm still unsure about Vincent Company.
We have Vincent Company. He's an idea. Should we do him?
Yeah.
What do we know about Vincent Company?
I don't know anything about him. So
aside from as a football player,
Vincent Company has is he's a leader of men. He's led one.
I did see a video of him today fucking laying into some players, and I could only imagine if he was saying that to our people in the locker room, they'd fucking cry. They'd quit. They'd literally never show up to the training ground again.
And he would be a better centre back for us than Eric Dyer, so player manager. Put him in there.
Wait a minute, I've got one. We haven't talked about this guy. He's not the Boca Juniors manager, Alpesh. He is the one I'm going to think about is the
River Plate
guy.
River
Gallardo. I don't like the sound of him. Anyone fancy him?
I heard that he took them from like the second division. They've won the Copa Libertadores.
They won everything, and he took them from nowhere to win everything in Argentina.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
He's also, people refer to him as the Elon Musk of football management because he's reinventing the fucking wheel. Anyone in the comments?
Someone said, "What about Pirlo?" I want Pirlo just so he can purely take our free kicks.
Yeah. Or sit in an Italian vineyard drinking wine because he's just the coolest bloke in the world.
There was someone else at River Plate. Someone said Alvarez. He did bring along
Here
Alvarez.
We go. Look, people who are liking this. So this is for Gallardo. Marcus is saying, yes, please. Toxic saying, yes, please. 24Z is saying he progressed Alvarez and stuff, didn't he? Which I'm thinking is like a yes, please.
There was another player
Grant
too.
saying Gallardo is the hipster choice, which I'm taking as a yes, please. Alpesh is saying yes.
I'm
saying yes as well to that.
I think
Enzo Fernandez played
River Plate were going through massive struggles, Adam, and he salvaged them, took them out of the doldrums. Allegedly, I don't watch Argentina.
He got them promoted and then won, I think, 2 or 3 times in a row the Copa Libertadores, which is a pretty big deal.
Trophies. Yeah.
South American football is no joke. People who think that it's easy, hey, y'all joke about CONCACAF and shit, but it's real deal out here. It's real spit. So honestly,
everyone's up for Gallardo. I love it.
Yeah,
all right, we found out that's the people's choice.
I've got a surprise suggestion Make all the
Previously.
Spurs YouTubers the manager, and we circulate every week.
No,
One
you know
week-
what, mate? Honestly,
1 week Barry is the manager. Next week
I
it's Sega.
swear to
No,
God,
I'm in the
I am-
ticket office.
I am so determined at some point in the next, I don't know, 2-3 years, whatever, depending on how this whole thing goes with the YouTube stuff, to get together with a bunch of other channels and go and like rent or hire a fucking like a park, like a field, a pitch, and start up a decentralized football team like the Tottenham Hotspurs or something like that. And I'll do the I'll run the finances. We'll get someone who's a coach to be the coach. Barry's the ticket office guy, and we'll stream every single game, and we'll turn it into we'll get every channel promoting it, and try and take it from the very bottoms of the footballing pyramid all the way up, just like they did with AFC Wimbledon.
And we will still win the Premier League before Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Sean
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. I think everyone could get on board it if we could find a pitch that's somewhere around a reasonable area and figure it all out. I think it would be the best thing ever.
All we know is Jacob's in goal because he's tall and handsome, and he's good at goalkeeping.
Yeah, you have to get a work.
That's what I played mostly, but honestly, in my later years, I want to be Zlatan. That's my goal. I want to be like a Zlatan, a big, tall striker, just kind of an asshole out there. Maybe not give you much, but I'm tall and I'll look angry at people. So.
Yeah. Spencer's saying like #United did. Yeah, exactly, very similar. But let's make it specific to Tottenham fans, to Tottenham channels, or whatever else, and try and do it that way. It'd be really cool. Will we get free tickets? Yeah, well,
it's also
this is
no free tickets. No free tickets.
We got
no free tickets here. This is a business we're running here.
Yeah, Barry. Yeah, it's a business. It's you have to be sustained. We start up a YouTube channel, TottenhamNotSpurs.com or whatever, and everyone can be members, and the members get tickets. Whatever. We'll sort it all out, but it has to happen. It'll be absolutely brilliant.
You're going to have your own Brian instead of Levy out. It's going to be Butler.
Yeah,
out.
Butler out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I the hatred would be palpable. Everyone would hate me. It'd be so good. All right, so are we decided then? Is there anybody else? I don't know how much longer we're going to go for, guys. It's 10 to 11. We'll go for 10 more minutes. Is there any other managers that we haven't discussed? Because right now it seems like the people's choice.
Frank?
Yeah, Thomas Frank. We haven't spoken about him. Thomas Frank. Anyone fancy it? I don't mind. I don't mind him.
Why not?
I'll take him.
Thomas Frank. Scotty Parker, just because he's a Levy man.
No,
definitely not Scotty Parker.
Carrick's a good one. Michael Carrick.
Carrick.
Ooh.
No, I don't think they're ready for it. We need someone. I think that Tottenham are too big of a team. In all seriousness, joking aside, we're too big of a team. We're too big of a team to have like a non-entity, right? We need somebody that's good.
I think the thing is though, this is a very important decision because at the end of the day, I mean, for me at the moment, I'm a bit worried about the summer, like I said, because I think Harry Kane, for me, needs to leave. And for me, when you've got rid of that player, some people say we moved on from other players, but if you look at the statistic, and I don't look at statistics,
flip-flopping again, Alex.
I'm not a stat again. So I just got interrupted by somebody who wants more clout. But my point
with the Hurricane FC, but now you want to get rid of him. Okay, flip-flop opinion.
My point is
today from you.
My point is that with Harry Kane leaving, maybe you've got to figure out a way of trying to play without him, don't you? And for me, that's a worry for me because we've been so used to relying on him with his goals and assists and stuff like that, his goals and assists, that, you take that out of the team, how are you going to replace that and try and sell the team even further? And that's the thing as well. When you haven't even got a manager at the moment or a head coach to know what to do to accommodate that, try and replace that and everything else. For me, that's a concern for me, and that makes me concerned that we could be a mid-table team next season. Like an Everton. You know what I mean? So. Yeah.
That was your perfect. You don't know what to do, and you should say followed. If you don't know, get to know.
Yeah, but I mean, on the serious thing, that's what I'm trying to say at the moment.
Seriously,
I think at the moment that's a lot of the concern. And that's why I said at the beginning why I'm not happy with the whole thing with Mason coming in. I don't.
Yeah, all right, Alex.
I don't
So
see.
let me ask this. So final because you raise a good point, right? Whoever the manager is will dictate. It will have an influence on Harry Kane's future. Now, there's some people that are like, like me personally. At some point in the next 3 years or the next 3 months, we're going to be without Harry Kane. So, like, we have to get used to some future at some point without Harry Kane. And there's some people that are suggesting that maybe not having Harry Kane, if you could let him go, the 100 million you might be able to raise for him could allow you to kind of go in a different direction with the formation rather than basing and centering everything around him. Do you think the manager, first and foremost, do you think the manager, and I'll start with you, Alex, and I'll go reverse or clockwise around the table here. Do you think the manager choice is going to influence the whether Harry Kane stays? If so, do you want a manager that is going to make Harry Kane more likely to stay? Or are you okay with going in a different direction and letting Harry Kane go and then using the money, whatever we can raise for it, to kind of reset the whole thing and go in a different direction without Harry Kane?
I appreciate Kane's efforts, even though what I've said about him already, but he needs to go off and win trophies somewhere else because he ain't going to do that at Tottenham. So for me, the head coach shouldn't be at Tottenham because to keep Harry Kane. The head coach needs to be there to start a new project where it's a 5-year project and we need to move forward from there. And that's it for me. And it's a young manager, up-and-coming manager, or a manager that plays good football and a forward-thinking football. And that's it for me. And that's
right.
my...
So Alex, you're saying let Kane go, therefore... like a young manager, and then the money from Harry Kane can be re-put in with the other budget to fix the defensive holes and then go in a different direction. And therefore, we don't need a big name manager to convince Harry Kane to stay. If you let him leave, get the money, and then go young, go hungry, start again, kind of full reset.
Yeah.
Okay.
And start working hard from the bottom up now because it's going to be a very hard process. Hard process, right. I feel.
It's a valid point. It's a valid take. It's a difficult one because I think for everyone to know what you want to do. Ben, next over to you, mate. Where do you want to go with it?
I could never wish that one of the greatest players to ever play for this football club, possibly the best ever player to play for this football club in terms of longevity, to leave this football club. He's still the best in his position on the planet, and you cannot wish for that player to go.
Yeah.
It's what Bob says most of the time, and I agree with him.
And which manager
what you realistically do is you build a team around him for the last influence we got, and then you buy a player afterwards. You need to build the team. At the moment in time, why are we focused on Harry Kane when we've got so many different positions to fix? We've got to fix centre-back. Wing-backs are starting to look slightly...
Yeah, but I don't think we've got that many positions, mate. It's goalkeeper and centre-backs and one creative midfielder.
Defensive midfield,
and one creative
possibly
player.
An attacking midfielder. You need that spine of the team.
Yeah.
He's the one player we don't need to look at for now. And when he goes, that's when you think, oh, shit, now we need to buy a player. And hopefully someone like a Dane Scarlett is coming up through the ranks at that point, because people rave about Dane Scarlett. I've spent a lot of people. Some people love him, some people don't. But we need to give that boy a chance because he's got a bag of talent.
I love what Cody's saying right now, Ben. I'll let you take it before I move across to Jacob. He might be an unpopular point, but the counter-attacking football we've witnessed for the last few years is built around Kane.
Yeah, I agree.
We can't press. We cannot press with Kane in the team. And I think Cody's absolutely spot on. We can't press high effectively with him up top. Sell him and buy Victor Osimhen. Well, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to get Victor Osimhen personally. I think
we were pressing with Pochettino, so I don't understand
I think he's not going to do it.
He's slowing down, isn't he? So
what if we think about?
I agree with you, Cody. Personally,
and the number 10 presses, and Kane drops into the number 10 role, whilst the number 10.
When you're doing a full high press, everyone needs to be able to do it.
Absolutely, but he doesn't have to be the furthest up the pitch. He's well capable of being the number 10 and pressing from there. Like the idea that he's completely lost his legs is ridiculous. He's 29 and he's still the guy has never been the fastest player. He is definitely able to press as a number 10. I don't believe where are we getting that he can't run?
Not saying not saying that, but Cody's point is that the fact that the way that we're built for the counter attack is based around Kane.
We go back to a 4-2-3-1 and with Kane in the 3, in the middle of the 3, and we will be able to press. I have absolutely no doubt about
Sonny? You think Sonny can do it as
Sonny
well?
can.
Both
Yeah,
of them?
for sure. I do believe.
I don't know if they can.
Not only do I believe Sonny can do it, but I would also be I would be in favor of switching Sonny to the 9, and then having someone else come in and playing at the.
See, I think Richie's a natural player that could press.
Yeah,
Becky's a natural player that can press. I just don't know that I think that maybe one. I think Kane possibly could. I take your point, but Kane and Son, I don't think both of them can do it personally.
I don't see. It's going black and white. We don't have to be original Pochettino pressing like maniacs. Not every team plays like that now. What we need to do is sort out the foundation of the team, which is the defense, and then move from there. We need to start fixing places that we need to fix rather than say, oh, we've got to fix Harry Kane. He's the one player in the team we do not need to fix at the moment. We need to fix Hugo Lloris, who's not good enough at the moment. We need to fix Dyer and Davis. And as much as I think he could still do a role, because he has still got our highest assists this season, Paratici, he's not good enough anymore. You fix the places you need to fix first. If we're gonna look at everything that's dirty, but we're gonna clean the one thing that's clean. We need to fix what needs to be fixed at the moment.
Yeah, I completely agree. It makes no sense to be talking about building a team without Harry Kane. Harry Kane's going to be here next season anyway.
We don't need to build the team. What we need to do is fix the things that need to be fixed.
Absolutely. And eventually, so we bring in some younger players to fix the holes that we've got for this transfer window. So we know we need the 2 centre backs and the goalkeeper. 100%, that's what we need. We get those in, and we're fine for another season. Then we can start talking about bringing in players to take over, to take over for the older dogs who are working their way out of the team. But you definitely don't need that for next season. That's not a conversation that needs to be had. It really isn't. I agree with you completely, Ben. We should just focus on fixing those issues at the back. And Kane's going to be here next season. I don't think that's a conversation worth having. Manchester United are going to go for a younger striker, and they're the only team that would be interested in him. Man City don't need him anymore. Arsenal certainly won't get him. Chelsea won't get him. He won't go to Newcastle. I don't believe he'll go to Newcastle. So, there's no what team is going to come in for him? And he wants to stay in the Premier League and get all his records. He's not going anywhere.
I agree with Perch. If 100 million comes in, you've got to look at it. But again,
100 million quid, you take it. 100% you take it. Danny was spot on earlier when he said,
you take it.
You take it because he's leaving for free next season.
Get 150
I don't trust.
Not with one year left on your contract. You don't, Adam.
You take it.
I don't know. It's Harry Kane.
He's
the best in the world.
I have had
even if you sacrifice, if you say he's not even if Daniel Levy says, I'm not selling him for 100 million quid, even if you have absolute peak Harry Kane, where he bangs in 35 goals next season, and you qualify for the Champions League, even in a rebuild season, you're still not going to make back the 100 million quid when you lose him for free in the summer. So at some point you go, 60 million quid's not enough money in the summer, because if you turn it down and he performs this next season, then you'll make the 60 million quid back by probably finishing fourth. But 100 million quid, that's the level. 150 million quid, never going to happen, right? But if you turn it down wanting 150 million quid, you're never going to get it, and you're never going to make the money up anyway by having him for another season. So somewhere between 75 and 100 million quid is the kind of sweet spot for me.
It reminds me of a conversation I had with the former president of Juventus, Mr. Antonio Giraldo. And he spoke to me about when he had Zinedine Zidane at the football club and Real Madrid came in with 50, I can't remember what the exact figure was. Someone will have to bring it up. He said, you cannot not accept that kind of money. And this was in the 90s. And this is if we get 100 million, we would be stupid to not look at it. Yes, I don't want Kane to go, but I don't trust the people with the 100 million quid, but it's all economics at the end of the day. And if he goes for nothing, that's 100 million quid wasted. Either way, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it'll happen. All the same, I agree with you on that point as well, Ben. But I don't think it'll happen. I don't think United will spend 100 million on a player that's turning 30.
No, I don't think anyone will. I don't think anyone
Newcastle might, but I don't think that Kane is going to go to Newcastle.
Newcastle have got players like Isaac in the team. They're looking to build a pressing team with Eddie Howe. Intensity is our identity.
Yeah,
as he likes to say a lot.
I don't think he's going anywhere, to be honest. I really don't. Like, he can go wherever he wants when he's going on a free, but he's not going. I don't think he's going anywhere this summer for sure. Just because no one's going to cough up that money. No one needs him that badly.
Last calls quickly. There's 240 people still in the chat. Please smash the like button for me, guys. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe as well. Jacob, we didn't get to you. Do you? What was the conversation we were asking? The conversation at the start was, Harry Kane. Do you let him, or do you make a managerial decision that will support the idea that Harry Kane might stay for a certain manager, or do you make a managerial decision around a different metric? And if it doesn't suit Harry Kane's needs, then so be it.
I'm a firm believer there's not one person bigger than the club, even if you hold all the records for the club. You got to do what's best interest for the club. And, talking about offers, if something over 80 million came in, 70, if something over 70 came in, you have to entertain the offer because, like y'all said, and next summer he's going for free, whether next year he breaks Haaland's record, whatever Haaland's record is going to be at the end of the season. If he goes on to break that next season for us, he's still going for free to wherever the hell he wants. And to me, you got to get some. I mean, I understand that Richie's kind of meant to be the backup ankle brace for Harry Kane in some sense. You lose Harry Kane, there's no replacing a guy like that. You need several players to replace what he does for this team. When you ask, the managerial decisions, if that's going to be based upon anything having to do with Harry Kane, no. But then again, this club, there's no plan ever in place that seems to be the plan that we're going with because it changes, much like the flip-flops that Barry's been showing all stream. We just continually are like, well, let's do this. Oh, Jose wants X, Y, and Z. Let's get him FGH, and it's just this constant game that we're playing. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you get a serial winner, it doesn't matter if you get a serial trophy winner, you get a prime Jose Mourinho. It doesn't matter when you come to Tottenham Hotspur. All bets are off on whatever you used to be, because when you come here to be our manager, it's 50-50 what you're going to get. You have no idea. I have no idea. No one has any idea. That's why I say, fuck it. Bring in Gallardo because, hey, he shares my mother's maiden name. And I think, why the hell not?
And also, it's another thing to go with Bentancur.
Yeah. If we lost Bentancur, give me Gallardo.
Yeah, there you go.
Gallardo.
It's the rolling R.
Yeah,
I can't do it. It's unusual for me to
give
say.
Me Gallardo any day, because you know what? He's doing things over there with some club that, can't imagine their budget's much bigger than Tottenham's. And if we're going to operate under this constantly arms behind your back like you're Eric Dyer defending in the box, if that's how we operate as a club, then it doesn't matter who you get. That's what I'm saying. Get whoever. Ryan Mason in is kind of where I'm at to see the season out. And then in the summer, go get yourself a Gallardo. You know what I mean? It'll be a good time. So that's where I'm at.
Lamborghini or the football manager?
Both, if you can. Actually, no, don't get the Lamborghini because that's just a waste of money. You could go get yourself a Kia, get you there just as easily, and save you a whole bunch of money and go get yourself a nice flight. The first thing I was like, what's cheap and affordable and
so what we're saying is Jacob is Daniel Levy because he went from a superstar to a Kia.
Yeah, you know what? Sell Harry Kane for 70. Yeah, go get you. I honestly truly believe if you did get, say, 70 for Harry Kane, and we do somehow, I mean, even Europa money, how much, Sean? How much should we get for qualifying Europa? If we don't get Champions League,
it's 20. If you were to go to like where Arsenal went in the Europa League and they went to the same stage as we did, it's 25 to 30% of the money that you get from the Champions League. So I don't know if Tottenham probably made 80 million quid from the Champions League this year. Arsenal probably made 24, 23, something like that. So,
I think you sell Harry Kane. You go and get two players to replace him. And if we're going the young route, I mean, the problem I have is that myself as an American fan, a person who sits on YouTube and blabbers with other people, if my amateur opinion, I can say, hey, look, if we're going to operate under, these financial restraints, here's at least 5 players I would suggest. The fact that our club goes and gets players that it's just Gedson Fernandez. What is that? Joe Rodon. all respect due, but like, what did he really do with Swansea?
You know what annoys me about that one. Not that I would particularly. I mean, unless you guys have got time to carry on, I don't know if we have, but
I gotta jump off.
Yeah, we're gonna jump off soon.
Yeah, I gotta go in 5.
Just give me 5 minutes to wrap it up. But just generally speaking, like Tottenham identified, like with Jose Mourinho, right? Jose Mourinho asked for Kim Min-jae, and we ended up paying more for Joe Rodon than we would have done for Kim Min-jae.
Why?
Right?
Why do we do that?
That's the thing. So, like, what annoys me is that, like, if Jose Mourinho asked for him, no one would have been okay with Kim Min-jae either, right? Like, we're all looking through the rearview mirror, just like when it was with the fella from Morocco last January that turned out to be a worldie at the World Cup. I forget his name off the top of my head. Amrabat, because of that, yeah. Like, Tottenham fans at the time were like, well, that's it? It's going to be an absolute disgrace. And it's only with the benefit of hindsight that they look back and go, actually, he was going to be a worldie. And the same with Kim Min-jae. But Tottenham just make the bet. It's not about the money with Tottenham. Obviously, it was with Jack Grealish, but you have to go all the way back, to that example. And maybe with Bruno Fernandes versus Gedson.
The worst one was Gary Cahill or Ryan Nelson. That was the worst.
Yeah, okay. Perfect one. But Tottenham could have afforded either and just picked the wrong one. So again, it comes down to talent ID, talent IQ. And that is not a financial thing. That's a
personnel thing, right? That's who you have in the building making the calls, going out of town.
Yeah.
That's why Kuva has been spot on. Burn it all down.
Kim Min-jae would have cost 5 million quid. We ended up paying 11.
Oh my god, he's gonna go for fucking 80 in the summer.
Well,
easy.
So it's interesting about him because he's got a 43 million pound release clause, right? But the release clause stipulates, allegedly, from what I've heard, that he can't leave to go to another European Union football club. But Tottenham are no longer in, or the Premier League is no longer in the EU. So that's why
I saw your tweet about that. I don't know about Brexit and all that, but I saw your Brexit tweet about that.
Yeah. No, I was like, it's finally Brexit fucking find some value, right? Because it rips out the opportunity unless Napoli sign a new contract with him, then the only place he can realistically go is the Premier League, and then you've got United.
You've got to imagine
the issue is with all these players is the moment they've got a release fee, whatever. The moment that even if we go for Kim Min-jae and we go and pay 43 million or whatever it is and drop it on the table, then Napoli are phoning everyone else going, oh, Tottenham have made a bid. We've accepted it. Do you guys want to make a bid for this guy? And then all the other bigger clubs, Kim Min-jae's going to say, oh, how much are you going to pay me? Well, Harry Kane's on 200 grand, so we'll pay you 200 grand. And then Liverpool pick up the phone, oh, we're going to pay you 300 grand. Man City are then going to say, we'll pay you 400 grand a week. And what's he going to do? Go to Spurs?
Again, it depends. It depends. Depends, right? If he wants to play for a team that's going to win, he might as well stay in Napoli, right? Because they're going to.
He's about to win it, yeah.
And obviously they've got a good chance of the Champions League. But if he wants to come for money, then Liverpool have got a stricter wage structure than Tottenham do. So, maybe Liverpool and Tottenham can compete, especially. And I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm speculating. Maybe Liverpool's definitely a better draw, but. Manchester United's the obvious draw, but Manchester United have already got Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane, and that's a very settled back four. And maybe Kim Min-jae doesn't want to play second fiddle. And also, I'm not entirely convinced that he's obviously far better suited in the middle of a back three than he is to the right or the left of a back four. And at Manchester United, you're going to play with a back four. So look, I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm just saying that there's an outside chance.
Economically, it makes sense for Tottenham now.
Massively makes sense. And you got the Heung-min Son relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
The only thing I would say is that at the moment, I understand he's got the relationship with Son. But what partner is going to fit well with him? That's
Romero.
The point I made.
Well, Romero.
Well,
imagine you get Romero, Kim Min-jae in the middle of a back three, and then you go and sign. Even like if it's an Ndicka.
I don't want back three anymore.
Neither do I. But just for argument's sake, you go and get it done, right? And you get an Ndicka or a Bola Ketchup or whatever whoever you want on the left hand side. All of a sudden, Tottenham's team, you got Destiny Udogie on the left wing back, Pedro Porro. You got three amazing centre backs. You've got, and then after that, like the middle and the front is pretty much taken care of. Then all you need to go and get is a Jordan Henderson, and Tottenham suddenly have got at least a first 11, maybe not a squad, but a first 11 that means fucking business.
I do think we're going over the top. Sorry to interrupt you, Sean, but I think we are going really over the top about Udogie because he's playing this settled team, mate. a settled team. Our team's not settled, bro.
No, I know.
This is
I
the point.
hear you. And
He hasn't played a minute.
He hasn't played a minute in this league. I get it. I hear you. I hear you.
It's not even just that though, bro. It's okay that you're saying that if he was in a settled team, I understand it. But at the moment, I don't see these players fitting in at the moment, because if you've got the players that we've got at the moment, you need to get rid of players first. Yeah, and that's work, because you don't even know if they're going to get rid of them, right? And then you start bringing them in. And whether Romero will get on with Kim and Jay is another question as well. You know what I mean? Because that's where centre backs work well, because we've had good centre backs in the past.
That's always the risk you're going to take, though. That's always the risk you're going to take. We've got to bring in new players. End of.
Yeah, but I'm not. But Adam, the point I'm making is you can start making that judgment and try and figure it out. Yeah. By trying to make that judgment by looking at the personality of the player as well. You see what I'm saying? Whether that personality will get on with the likes of Romero, whether that personality will get on with the likes of the person in front of him, if you're left back or something like that. You know what I mean? That's where my concern is at the moment. Absolutely, 100%. And I'm going to keep on saying that as well, because I think we play too much FIFA, thinking, oh, we're going to work well because they're good players. Well, we've had good players in the past. It hasn't worked. You know, this is why we've got no trophies. Oh, yeah, that's quite funny, isn't it? You know what I mean? Sorry, but truth again from Mr. Box Office again. Back again.
It's
anyway,
a nice one. Like, listen, we are move on to to wrapping it up. Just quickly, I want to say out to Frankly Tottenham. Frank, mate, listen, dude, sorry, I didn't see it at 11:08. It's only 9 minutes ago, but we are literally wrapping up now, bro. So next time we'll do a live stream. I'll do one before the end of the week. You come on, mate, 100%. Guys, just I want to give Nick and Adam the last chances on just the story about Harry Kane. To a couple of minutes or a minute or whatever you want each on that one. And then I'll start with you, Adam. And then if you've got anything to plug, let me know. And then we'll come to Barry for his opinion on Harry Kane, anything to plug. And then we'll give the other 3 plugging options, and then we're going to wrap it up.
No Adam, plug for me. I do have to go, but I just want to say I love every single one of you. No plug for me. Thank you, Sean, for the invite. It's always a pleasure when I can join you.
Plug it. United Spurs of America.
United Spurs of America. It's right there. You hit that on YouTube. Do the thing. But either way, Sean, thank you so much.
Love you, mate.
Ben,
Thanks
Barry,
so much for coming on.
Adam, Alex, and Brian Daigle. Big up yourselves.
Appreciate you, Jake. Take care.
Big up the chat as well.
See you,
Come on,
mate.
Spurs.
Number love you, bro.
Adam, sorry, mate. Yeah, real quick. Harry Kane, do we care?
I think that it's going to be too much money to lose for anyone to go in for him. I think Man United are the only potential options, and I still think they're going to go for someone younger. It doesn't make any sense for them to go for Harry Kane when he's pushing 30. They need someone that's going to come in for the long haul. We don't need to replace that position at the moment at all. We know where we need to replace. We've got 2 centre backs and a goalkeeper to sort out. Once we do that, we're in incredible shape for next season. Harry Kane needs to stay with us for next season to be able to do the things that we want to do. Look, if we sell him and we take a shot on somebody else that we can pay less for, that, you know, let's say we go for a Vlahovic or Sadio Mane comes in and suddenly he's doing the business for us, whatever, fine. You know, I'm not dead against it, but I don't see it happening. There's no need to lose him whatsoever. And because we're going to sort our back line out, and then we're going to go and do much better things next season. I believe it, especially if Poch comes back. As far as signing off, guys, as always, like I come on Spurs Talk Show as often as I possibly can whenever Shawnee's able to have me. So you'll find me here mostly, and if not here, you'll find me on the Irish Hotspur. And just as far as my own plugging is concerned, I don't have my own show, but I do have my own channel at Wild Stag Media on all the different social media platforms. And you can check out my film, Follow the Dead. It's not a cartoon. I just make cartoons of my characters. Follow the Dead is available on Amazon.co.uk. It's available on Amazon.com. And if you want to watch it for free in America, it's on Tubi TV as well. But if you want to help me out, and support me, watch it on Amazon, because you're able to rate and review, and the ratings and reviews going off a long way. And thanks again, Sean, for having me on. And guys, it's been an amazing chat. As usual, all you guys are incredible guests. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk to everybody. And Alex, as much as I give you some stick sometimes, absolutely nothing but love for you, bro. Nothing but love for you.
No, it's all love here. Adam, you're awesome, mate. Thanks so much for coming on. And guys, yeah, please do check out Follow the Dead. I watched it on Amazon. It's a brilliant movie, brilliant fun, and it shows off Adam's talent. So if you're a big fan of Adam, then yeah, show your support for him like you do for me and the channel and everyone else's channels by going onto Amazon, looking it up, and was it cost like a £3 or £4 or something to buy it, to rent it or something, So if you got some love for Adam, then Follow the Dead is the way to do that on Amazon. Appreciate you, Adam. Barry, Harry Kane, what's your take, mate? Do we let him go and then start again, rebuild with a younger manager, or do we go for a bit better manager if it means that we can convince him to stay?
I don't think it makes a difference. I think he's going for free in the end of next summer, unless someone comes in. And I mean, the only other option you could say would be if 60, 70 million plus a Dean Henderson to come the other way. That then fixes one of the problems in the goalkeeping area, and it gives a little bit of money to maybe get we need a defender and a cam. So, yeah, look, it all depends. There's so many things that can be twists and turns. Teams getting relegated, see what cheap deals can be around there. If Southampton get relegated, do we go after James Ward-Prowse? But
and Bella Kotchap, and also Bazunu, their goalkeeper. You could fix half of our problems with Southampton's best three players. Best three players.
Yeah, and obviously, obviously Højbjerg was there, Toby was there, Poch was there.
We got a decent relationship with Southampton. We can talk to them.
So look, I think it's interesting, but I think he's staying regardless of the manager, and I think he'll go for a free and then get his payday, and then wherever that is or what. Look, the football landscape will change in that time anyway. You never know. We could end up winning something, and he wants to stay, but who knows? Right? But. Yeah, look.
What's happening on your channel, my man?
What's happening? Well, we don't normally stream during the international break, but we are doing a watch along tomorrow. England v Italy, Shelfside Spurs show. So yeah, head over to there. We don't normally talk about football, so it's quite nice to come on and talk about football. We just talk nonsense, just to change it up a little bit and to make people a little bit happier. So. Come and join us there. Normally Thursdays, 7:30. Like with what Sean says, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell. And I promise you won't have any waffling or flip-flops like Alex below.
Mate, Nick, thank you so much for coming on, my man. You're an absolute legend. Mr. Box Office, time to give your plug, my man. What's going on? Is it new? Is the rebrand going on? Is it Mr. Box Office TV? What is it?
Let's go to the box office. Let's go to the box office. Let's go to the box office.
He's created his own theme too. I'm out.
See, as I said before, as the jingle says, because they all want to let's go to the box office because they know what box office is all about. It talks the truth every single time and talks truth every single time and banters people like Barry, who wants his clout every single time, like all stream every single time.
You haven't run away this time, Alex. It's quite nice.
It wants to interrupt me and everything, and that's it. And unfortunately, I don't react anymore to these sort of things that Tottenham give me anymore because I'm not learning anything. I'm not learning nothing. So, like I said, I'm doing new things. Like I said, I'm a fresh reset. We started. Like I said, with the new channel, the new branded channel, Mr. Box Office TV, and that's it, yeah. And like I said, we've got the Mr. Box Office Unleashed series still continuing, which will hopefully come on soon again. And also the good, the bad, and the bang average top 5 coming soon as well. Working on Mr. Box Office TV as well. So if you don't know. Get to know that. And that's all I need to say. Mr. Box Office taking the truth again. And that's it. And back to you, Saul, and I'm done.
Awesome. Good ending, Mr. Box Office. Benny Boy, thank you so much for coming on. All of you guys, thanks so much for coming on. What's happening on Coffee Company, mate? When you next live? Tomorrow?
We will be live the usual time, 2 p.m. on the Coffee Company for your usual hour chill session. Come by, listen to some wonderful lo-fi, and we have a chat about anything. You never know who's going to turn up at the Coffee Company. I think tomorrow, Mr. Danny Kiriakou might be turning up at the Coffee Company. He's going to arrive 4 hours late, but he's going to be there. He's going to be
be wild. It's going to
be wild there. But you can also find us on Tottenham on Tour as well with the wonderful Brian Daigle, Mr. Brian Ireland, Danny Kiriakou himself, and myself. And we do the majority of Tottenham things. But if you want to see just the cough, all the cough and nothing but the cough, head over to the coffee company. We have a new coffee at the moment. It's called Twilight Princess. It is wonderful, and you should all drink it. Barry loves it.
Nice, mate. Once I get that coffee machine that I've been talking to you about, I'm going to be ordering all my coffee from you very soon.
I love a Twilight Princess.
He does.
All right, guys. Listen, we're going to wrap it up. Listen, I've just seen from Ishak. Apparently, Mari's Love. Is it still called Mari's Love Lounge?
Whatever he's calling it now.
Mari's Spurs Lounge. I don't have a link for
Mari's Spurs channel.
Head over there and stick into the comments. Spurs Talk Show raid or whatever they do on Twitch. I don't understand it, but guys, I want to say a massive thank you to, first and foremost, everybody in the comments tonight. You've been mad. It's been 250 plus for most of the evening. I want to say a massive shout out to the Football Heritage, to Saba, to Kyle Patrick Vineyard, to Ellie Aglalia Lozu, Queen Ellie, we know her as, to Saba again, to Ellie again, and to A Cone. Thank you so much for your support, guys. And obviously, I want to say massive thank you to you guys in the comments, to Adam, on the panel, to Adam, to Nick, to Brian Daigle, to Alex THFC, Mr. Box Office, to Jacob, and to Ben. Guys, we're out of here. Love you. We'll see you again very, very soon. I'm going to be doing much more of these now because I really enjoyed this evening. It's been a lot of fun. Guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. As always, guys. As always. Bye-bye.
Come on, you